Hello out there, and welcome to Ruins of Gauntlight, our Abomination Vaults playthrough. I am DM Steve, and with me is the... we had a name, right? And we're still missing a group name. But with me is my friends. Say hi, friends.
Hi,
Hello.
friends.
So we're still looking for that cohesive group name that really captures what we are all about perfectly. And first person to put it in chat wins. And one that we agree to use gets. What do you think? What can we cobble together? Maybe like $10 million. Fine, I won't be cheap. $20 million. It's legally binding if you say it out loud.
A little more reasonable.
I have to adjust my green screen a little bit. We're dealing with the time change, and the sun keeps going down more and more, which is making it a little harder to crop out my face on this. Anyways,
Is the sun going down on you?
well, that took a turn.
As in the song, right? The song.
The sun is not going down on me.
Not what you were thinking, Steve.
I guess not, but that's what I was thinking. But yeah, we're dealing with the time change. Is everyone going okay with that? Everyone taking naps like me still? What about you, Mike? You're old.
Naps for me.
No.
Test mic check.
Yeah. Well, one thing I really like to do for when we start our streams, right, is I like
higher for me, Steve.
Yeah, I got it.
Got me. Thanks.
One thing I like to do is reflect on the rules that I've learned since the last time we played. And a lot of our fans are nice enough to chime in and let us know rules that we are not doing right, which is a big part of this stream, right? Us learning what Pathfinder 2e is versus 5e. So the ones I learned about this week that I thought... I'll share two I learned and was reminded of, and one that I kind of flip-flop back and forth on, and finally realized that that we probably did do it right. But let me see. I made a list here. Okay, so last week we had a situation come up with Attack of Opportunity with New Lara, where the corpse light ran past you, triggering an opportunity attack. And we had talked about if your opportunity attack would stop them from moving, because under opportunity attack, it does say, like, if you crit, you can interrupt that action. But the thing that was pointed out, which makes a lot of sense, is that you can only interrupt an action if it's a manipulate action, not if it's a move action. So if a thing is moving past you, it triggers an opportunity attack, but you can't interrupt the opportunity attack from happening. But if the thing is doing a manipulate action, which could be something as innocuous as like casting a spell with a somatic or material component, that makes a spell casting have a manipulate tag. So if a spellcaster is point blank casting a spell, you can opportunity attack them just from them casting a spell. And if you crit, you actually stop the spell from going up. So that's a little cool thing. There's more stuff that is like considered the manipulate action. I want to say, like, pulling out, like, I believe, like, drawing weapons and opening doors, all those things have the manipulate tag. So yeah, that's right. Heisenberg, it's not straight up Sentinel like 5e, where you just stop things from moving around the battlefield if you hit. So I just thought that was cool to call out going forward with New Lara, since you will be doing a lot of opportunity attacks, I imagine. And then we have the other thing was there's a recall knowledge check with you, Mukta, where you said, I want to know if I know anything about these corpse light, and you rolled a natural 1. Remember? So when you
choose not to remember that,
it's probably better that way. So so recall knowledges are usually secret checks. And I'll tell you why. It's because a critical failure on a recall knowledge gives you wrong information. So in that case, since you rolled a natural 1, if it had been a secret roll and you didn't know you rolled a natural 1, I would tell you something like, oh, well, actually, you've read something about corpse lights. You're pretty sure that like sunlight empowers them, so keep them out of sunlight or something like that, right? And you wouldn't know you crit failed, so you would think that that was the truth, even though it's straight up wrong.
Sounds fun.
I do remember seeing that and reading that. That's right. So yeah, you think you got good info, and it's really not.
And you can manipulate the blind GM roll by choosing to drop down above the chat box and saying blind GM roll and rolling your dice.
Right. I think in this case, I didn't ask for it to be blind, but we probably I might do that more going forward because it's more fun. The other thing that's kind of weird in this situation is you guys were just coming off in a previous session a natural 20 knowledge check, so you knew you had a bunch of right information. And again, I didn't make that check secret either. So it's kind of like this idea of like secret rolls allow you to do things where I can give you guys wrong information on purpose, but it takes away a little bit of that seeing the roll result and everyone going, yeah, natural 20 or oh my God, natural 1. So there's got to be a balance though, right? Per the official rules, it should be secret, and I can't tell you whether or not you rolled good or bad. But if you trust your players, I can give you bad information and then you guys can TPK like Min, right? Like go down with correct or knowing that you're doing a bad choice, which could be fun too, but we'll find a balance between the two. Sometimes I do plan on using a lot of secret rolls. I have been using them, especially when you guys are doing perception checks and searching for stuff. So yeah. So then the third rule, which I went back and forth on, and I'm still not 100% clear on this, so maybe a lot of our Pathfinder, so like the people who know a lot about Pathfinder in our chat, like Ronald SF or any of the other people that like to give us rules tips in our YouTube channels, if you look at like the climb skill, climb is an untrained athletic skill, which means anyone can climb even if you're not trained in athletics. But it gives examples for like if you're trained, you should be able to do like such and such things. And it says like, for instance, climbing up a rope would be a trained athletics thing. So my first take was like, well, if it's a trained athletics thing, if you're trained in athletics, you could probably just do it without any kind of rolls, because what else would that list be of like, oh, if you're trained, you can do this. But then I started like doing some research, and it seems to be like the untrained, trained, master, expert, legendary are like kind of target DCs. So like trained would be like a base roll of DC 15. And if you are trained in athletics, it should be pretty easy for you to do, but it's not guaranteed. So I still never found 100% clear explanation exactly how that like example activities was supposed to line up. So if you're in our chat and or you're watching this on YouTube, let me know, because I want to learn. Because it is silly that like Mukta is trained in athletics and yet had trouble like climbing the rope up the side of the building. You know what I mean? Which also goes back to the whole idea of outside of combat, should you really be doing sort of roles like that? I did it because it was a fun way to introduce the new characters and watch you guys fail. But realistically, I don't know. Also,
for Pathfinder being a natural 1 was pretty awesome. So
that's true. And there's also this idea of when they say like climbing a rope, it's more like if there's a rope descending down a pit or something, and it's just straight up like gym class rope climbing, that's probably more DC 15. But if you got the rope going up the side of a building and you're using the building as like foot holding, and you're able to go up and kind of walk the side of the building as help, that's going to reduce the DC, I think. So that's more on that's the DM call to like adjust the difficulty using climbing a rope DC 15 as like a baseline. And it goes all the way up to like legendary is like a completely smooth surface. So if you are trying to climb up a smooth surface and you're legendary in athletics, you probably are capable of doing that. So I think that's the correct interpretation, but let me know, Pathfinder fans. Anyways, as Heisenberg said, shall we move on to the TPK?
I'd like to point out that I got a residual feeling of magic back in the room with the.
Oh, that's a good point. So when you have you're kind of the detect magic default person, so you're always pumping out default magic or detect magic, and I didn't realize that it's not blocked by like stone and stuff. I thought it was just, line of sight, but it's not. So in that case, when you guys were back in that room with the altar that you guys spent so much time searching, every time Hal walks around there, he's getting pings of detect magic is going off. So far, you haven't found the source of that magic, but there definitely is detect magic going off. Thanks for reminding me about that, Rick.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into tonight's session. I don't know if you can see up top here, right here, we have 44 out of our 50 followers goals, which means we only need 6 more of you guys out there to follow if you haven't yet. So if you haven't followed, just click the follow. You'll get a little message on screen, and we'll send some love your way. All right. Let's roll our opening cinematic, and let's go back into the Ruins of Gauntlight in the Abomination Vaults adventure path. We'll see you in just a minute. Don't go anywhere.
The lumber town of Otari, with its storied past and a fair share of sinister secrets, has been fairly quiet in recent decades. Over the 400 years since its inception, the surrounding area has been the launching pad for many famous adventurers, and as a result, most of the ancient ruins have been fully explored, much of their mysteries already solved. But when the mysterious Gauntlight, an eerie landlocked lighthouse, begins to glow with a baleful light, the people of Otari suspect it's an ominous prelude to sinister events. The call goes out for a new band of heroes to save the day. Those heroes are Mukta.
One's path in life may shift like the sands. You have to adapt or be buried.
Halarmony Higgins.
Can I play something for you?
New Lara.
Hey, I know that it's scary, but you have to get up. Okay? Take my hand. Ugh, very good. Let's go.
Clovis.
Nature is not to be put in order. Nature is order. It is for us to put ourselves in unison with this order.
The time has come to enter the Abomination Vaults, Ruins of Gauntlight.
Just to listen for, like the ambient noise and
Well,
to see if we just.
we are back, and we are still adjusting with our audio levels, trying to give you guys the best experience. So thank you, Nina, for taking point on that. So when we last left off, you guys had managed to get revenge. Well, first of all, we met our 2 new recruits, Mukta and Clovis, who kind of wandered in from the swamp in order to help you guys out, sent by Ren Savinsky, and immediately got into a really tough revenge match against the Corpse Lights, because the Corpse Lights had previously nearly TPK'd you guys, but armed with the knowledge of light, you swung the tides in your favor and completely decimated that fight. From there, you saw a sort of detached building from the rest of the main keep and made your way to it across the bridge, across the swamp, into a locked room where you were encountered by a will-o'-the-wisp that claimed to be a ghost named Spooky Wisp, who really needed you to get a shiny for it. However, seeing completely through the ruse, there was a tiny brownie named Tangletop hiding and trying to trick you guys into doing its work for it. And I did find the handout, so I did share that with you guys right now. It should have popped up on your screen. Tangletop, the brownie, with its large blonde hair, its little like elvish ears, this tiny little stature, wearing a what seems to be like a hula skirt of some sort. This is the scary spooky wisp that has requested you guys to find its shiny so it could tell you all the information it knows about the Gauntlight, like the whole keep in general. New Lara managed to threaten 2 out of the 3 secrets from it. Right? However, it is holding tight to that 3rd secret and will only share it if you recover what it's being oddly vague about, right? You even asked it straight up, like, well, what is this shiny thing? And it just said, you'll know it when you see it, right? It hasn't been very forthright with what it is you're getting for it. All it said is it's guarded by a creepy doll down the hallway. And if you retrieve it, it'll tell you the final secret. In addition, it'll also give you guys a side quest experience and probably push you over the level cusp to level 2, which as players, I'm sure you guys are excited about.
As long as we don't die.
As long as you don't die. And so this is one of those fights that guidance from other DMs that have run it already have warned that this could be a highly dangerous situation. And so I've opted to adjust the difficulty a bit. There's this thing in Pathfinder where you can put a template on a creature that makes it weaker or stronger. It's called elite or weak. In this case, the creature in the room is like elite. So it takes like a CR2 creature and buffs it up. However, given its abilities and given the sort of environment the fight takes place in, I think it would probably be a bit too much for you guys. So I am scaling it back to non-elite, which does reduce the experience you earn from it a tiny bit, but I'm adding back in experience for the dangerous environment. So it'll work out all the same. So anyways, welcome back to the Ruins of the Gauntlight. What would you guys like to do first?
So maybe we should go back to the skeleton room and look around some more. I can still see some magic.
I was like, where's Hal? But he was under Mukta for me.
We are not going to get the shiny then.
I mean, I think we should.
You're my friend. As Mukta's looking towards Tangletop.
Yeah, Tangletop. Big, bushy, like, kind of blonde hair is just, like, kind of wringing its hands and, like, looks pretty anxious to get its shiny.
So, my little friend, Titi, can you describe to me the room that we're going into?
Sure, yeah. I went in. I was only in there momentarily, but it looked to be like a workshop of some sort, only it had been completely destroyed. Almost as if somebody or something had gotten in there and just tore it. Like, it motions, and you can see it. Like, this room you're in is pretty much torn through, and it's like, it makes this look like child's play. So the whole thing it's very, like, dangerous and uneven footing to even walk across. And in the middle was this weird doll with a beak for a face and wings. That the minute I like entered, it turned to turn its attention to me, and I just, like, used my dancing lights to distract it and ran.
How much of an expert you are in the art of stealth. Were you trying to be sneaky when you entered the room?
I was not. Unfortunately, I didn't expect there to be a bird doll just standing guard. So
My mother said, always be prepared for a bird doll. Rule number 1 in life.
A bird doll?
That's
oddly specific, I know, but it comes in handy. Huh?
I guess, yeah.
Yeah. And he says, well, if you're looking to be stealthy, I did manage to notice that the dome ceiling above did have crack and was open up to the sky, so you could theoretically, like, descend into the room. But the object that I want, it's on the far southern wall.
How big is the area? Do you remember?
It like puts its hands out and says about this wide by that wide, and it's like stretching its arms pretty wide. Maybe like 20, 25 feet.
What do you guys think? Should we just brute force it, or would it be safer that we stealth in and ambush it the same way we did with the ghosts?
Like quite a challenge. I'm always up to
Maybe,
trying to sneak my way in, but whatever the group wants. Eh?
Perhaps you should have a look from the top. Maybe you can climb up there.
Yeah, do some reconnaissance. Very smart.
And I look at Lukta.
Of course, my friend. Climbing is no problem.
As we learned yesterday. So yeah.
Do you need me to help you with the climb, Mukta?
We'll see first how
Alright.
this wall looks. Someone will have to, in order for you to help me, I think you would have to climb up first, yes?
Or I could boost you up in case it's too high. Not sure.
So, Mukta is going to go outside and just kind of get a layout of where would be kind of the best place to climb.
Right. So you do see like the whole room kind of looks octagon shaped, right? And I know there's some issues with like you probably can see through the wall, and it's an issue with the way the dynamic lighting is set up, and like certain distances it's weird. But like here, the room looks to be octagonal shaped, right? And this specific room has like a wooden dome built over the top, and much like Tangle Top says, you can see like parts of the wood has fallen over the years, and like if you were to just like, you could even climb like right where you are and like walk across this top of this like stone roof over to it. It wouldn't be that hard for you to do. And it's only like a 10-foot climb. It's not even that hard. Like the keep has like higher walls. It's a little more fortified, but back here doesn't seem to be.
Can do it.
Quietly climb the walls.
Okay. So is the plan to use a grappling hook to go up, like grapple hook up and climb, or is it like just, get a boost and climb up the side of the walls? The stone, it's like the stones are sticking out enough that you could probably do it without a rope, and it'd be a lot more quiet than using a grappling hook. A little harder to climb, but more quiet. We're also not dealing.
Mukta does not have. Oh, I do have a climbing kit. Never mind. Mukta will try to climb the stones without the grappling.
Sure. And then, Nulara, you were going to attempt to boost?
No, right. I'll just watch him from afar
Okay.
at the moment. I can't move.
Yeah, so in this case, Mukta, let's see if you can give me an athletics check to climb up the side of the wall. You're moving up about 10 feet. The DC for this straight up with no rope hanging down the side is probably just going to be a 15.
For redemption, my friends.
Nice.
Ooh.
So within like the first action of your turn, right? So if you really think about it, right, you get 3 actions in a turn and it's 1 action to climb. So in 2 seconds, you'd go halfway up the wall, which is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Keep the rolls coming. If you fall now you're actually falling and taking fall damage, though, is the danger. 11. It's a failure, but it's not a critical failure, so you just make no progress.
Gives away from my feet, but I'll try again.
Nice. and in one swift 6-second motion, Mukta goes up the side of the stone kind of cobble wall onto the roof and has achieved redemption. So congratulations, Mukta, you defeated your first wall.
I give 2 thumbs up.
Flourish and a little bow, but doesn't make any sound.
Okay, and then so good.
No good.
No, I was gonna say, and I think after you do your little like bow or whatever you're gonna do, then you're gonna sneak over and try to like peek in, right, without being noticed.
Yes, Mukta, you see, he no rapier or dagger in hand, gets on all fours and goes a little bit quicker, but stealthily.
Mm-hmm. That's actually a good point because your speed's normally 25 feet, right?
Yes.
So if you're sneaking, you can only go half that, which is what, 10 feet? But if you're on all fours,
I can go 30 feet, which would be 15.
It really does boost you like 50% more sneak speed being on all fours. So that's awesome the way the breakpoints work out. Yep. So why don't you go ahead and give me a stealth roll, and we'll see how sneaky you can be.
Oh, it's so close to a natural 20.
But it's still pretty sneaky. Okay, so I'm going to move your token here to simulate like what you can see. So you watch as Mukta disappears from your view, right? Crouching down on all fours, moving silently to your guys' eyes and ears across the top of the roof. And so you peek down through like some of the missing slats, Mukta, and this is what you see. This once elegant workshop has fallen into shambles. Soggy strings of dripping moss hang through cracks in the wooden domed roof above, which you're probably looking through. Below it, a carpet of broken glass glitters dangerously. Workbenches and shells, armatures and displays, all formerly used in crafting or repairing immense lenses for a lighthouse, lie in ruins. Only a bejeweled spyglass, sitting on a display rack near the southern wall, has survived the devastation. And I've circled that in this green circle so you can kind of see where the spyglass currently lies. And the other thing you notice is like sitting in this, like just sitting sadly, like kind of like head down, almost looks it almost just looks like a doll. If you didn't know that it was being guarded, you might not even give it a second look. You see this.
Always warned me.
Just like Mother used to warn you about, yeah. Just standing there. And as you peek, I mean, you're pretty confident it hasn't noticed you. It doesn't react to you if it has.
Now, is there any opening? Where are the openings in this dome? Is it only where I'm at?
No,
there
are plenty here. Like the roof is probably only about like 80% still coverage. So there's like spots like everywhere. So even right where the spyglass is sitting, there is definitely like a crack in the wood right above it looking down upon it. Like you could totally Mission Impossible this if you had the willpower.
How far is Mukta off the ground?
On the edge, like right where he is, like not at the top of the dome, right? Just about 10 feet off the ground.
Let's say I'm trying to judge how far I would be if I was trying to Mission Impossible it down and grab the spyglass.
It'd basically be about the spyglass is on. Let's see, how does it describe it? The spyglass is sitting on a display rack, so it's not completely on the floor, right? It's probably 3-4 feet up. So you're only looking to like descend about like 6 feet down from the roof, like one climb movement action. The biggest issue, I believe, is as you do this, right, you're going to have like no cover whatsoever against this creature. So you're going to have to find some way to distract it or get cover from it, or it's going to like probably notice you straight up. If you're able to get into the room, right, there's enough debris that if you were climbing around on all fours, you might be able to use a lot of that debris as cover to sneak through. But looking at the room, it is so full of debris that you're pretty sure it would be really hard to like maintain your balance. You could sneak, but it it's going to be more challenging. And this is something Pathfinder calls uneven ground, which means when the ground is uneven, anytime you make a move, you can't even take a stride. You have to do like a balance check, which is an acrobatics check, just to not like fall over. And if you get hit, you also need to like make a check to not fall over on the uneven ground. And while you're on the uneven ground, you're considered flat-footed. So it is a bit of a dangerous territory to be stuck in.
Anything else?
So, growing up in the Sogi warren, large warrens, packed full of stuff, I probably would recognize that this is not the best terrain to be trying to go around, right?
Right. Yeah, it would definitely be challenging.
Do I notice any, besides the terrain itself, do I notice any, traps or anything?
As you kind of give it a peek over, nothing looks like, nothing looks to be overtly trapped. You're always got that eye out for traps. Yeah. It's not, I wouldn't call it a trap, but like you definitely notice the whole floor is like covered in lots of shards of glass. And you're pretty sure anyone who did lose their balance and fell over might not come out unscathed. Like if you fall over face first, you're going to be falling into like shards of glass. It's probably going to cut you up a bit. So it's not quite a trap, but it kind of is a trap in a certain sense.
Improvised pit trap.
Pretty much.
No pit.
And yeah, there's a set of double doors on the north side and another door like on the southwest side of the room.
I'm gonna look at the doors. Do I notice, are they like barred in any ways, or just they look like they have regular locking mechanisms?
Why don't you give me a perception check to see if you can notice what you can notice from up here. They definitely don't look barred, but we'll see if you can pick up anything else.
That's not on the perception.
12. Yeah, not much from up here. It's hard to tell from the top of the dome and like through the little crack. Yeah. Definitely doesn't look barred at all.
Okay. All right, I will take in all that information and make my way back to my friends.
Sure.
No windows and no doors and no peepholes.
And no way out.
No windows other than the cracks in the dome. But there's definitely one door that does lead to the southwest out towards like the swamp, and another door on the north side that leads to where you guys kind of were inside the building.
Gotcha.
So there is Mukta can relay that, but there is like another door like on the southwest side of the room.
After a minute or two, you guys see just Mukta's head just pop over the roof. Hello, my friends. I'm back with information. And I relay all the information.
Okay.
And so you didn't go get the thing, no?
I mean, I thought this was more a bit of a reconnaissance mission, huh? Then we go back and maybe form a plan.
So, is it further down, perhaps, or maybe like way down? If you fell, would you get hurt?
Other than the shards of glass that would tear my body to pieces, the fall itself, not so much. But it is quite the open room. There would have to be some sort of distraction in order for me to get the far seer.
Perhaps I should give you a hand. And I cast Mage Hand and ruffle his snout.
Oh.
It's invisible.
Is Mage Hand invisible in Pathfinder?
It can be invisible or ghost-like.
Very cool.
You should climb up with me, my talented friend.
I look at Nulara. Maybe you should give me a hand, or maybe he go up there and drop a rope, and I can climb too. And you can.
I'm already getting out my rope and looking to fasten it.
Okay. And it's also possible for you both to aid this action, right? One from the bottom, one from the top. I'll allow you both to make aid checks if you'd like.
Do you want to go somebody to the south door to cause a distraction to try to get him to head to the door?
Maybe not the south, as the object is there. If a distraction, I would say from the north.
So there is a north door.
Yes, it seems like it's connected in the room where we met our creepy little friend.
That's how balance. Took me that long to get balance to show in the chat, but that's how balance works. If you were to actually be in the room.
Okay.
Wait, hang on a second. I just want to run it back a little bit. So Mukta and Hal would be climbing up and and you guys will try to get the shiny stealthily.
I can pick it up from afar and bring it to me. I don't need to go in there.
Okay. And then while you guys do that, we could Clovis and I could provide some cover by distracting them from the north side of the room. Yeah?
I think that would be a good idea.
Okay.
You took the word out of my mouth, my friend.
Okay. Well, Clovis, stand behind me when we do this, just in case.
You can give our talented musician friend here a boost from below.
Oh yeah, I could definitely do that, and then I'll run at Clovis. Oh, what should our go signal be? Do you want us to cause the distraction first before you drop down and try getting it?
I'll look at Mukta. You're going to go in there? I'm not going in there.
If we don't have to, then I see no need to go in, but maybe our go signal to try to pick up the object will be when you create the distraction.
Okay.
That's a good idea.
So give us, once we get our musically inclined friend on the roof, give us a few minutes and we make our way over there, yes?
Alright, sounds like a plan.
Okay. So for Nulara and Mukta, go ahead and make athletics checks to aid Hal. And since you're doing a rope up the side of the building, the DC is definitely lowering from the 15 it was with nothing down to 12 with your guys' help. So that's it's a failure from Mukta, but not a critical failure. Luckily, it doesn't impede Hal. And Nulara hits a critical success, which boosts the roll by Hal by 2. So Hal, take a +2 on your roll. And what kind of bonus is aid? Is it, let's see. Aid is it's a circumstance bonus. I guess that means you could only have one circumstance bonus. Interesting. Either way, Hal, no problem. With an 18 halfway up, go ahead and make a second one. Yeah, no problem. Oh, 11. I'm gonna let the circumstance bonus roll to all your checks on that turn. So yeah, you don't critically fail. This isn't, you guys are not inept. Up the side of the building, Hal goes up to meet Mukta, and yeah, you're successfully up on top of the little shack. Good job.
Making a great show of pulling as hard as he could to pull his larger friend up the building.
I'll move
I
you
just
guys.
nod and smile.
I'll move you guys back to where you can kind of see the room, and if you're probably going to come this way if you're going to try to get it on the south side.
Yeah. We're gonna. Well, how far is that? How far is it from there? Yeah, that's a little closer.
Yeah, what's the range on your mage hand? I know you can move it 20 feet per turn, right?
It's 20 feet per turn.
Yeah.
I would also get my rope back and start fastening it just in case I need to drop down.
Of course. There. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So, so that you guys start heading that way, I'm gonna have you guys roll your stealth roll in a second, but also we're gonna cut over to like Nulara and Clovis, who are kind of going to the north side door, right? That was the plan to like set up a distraction.
How do you think Nulara and Clovis are doing?
I like to imagine like Mushi and Tangletop are like having a lot of fun playing with each other.
Yep. What are we gonna do for our distraction?
I mean, I think the best way to distract the bird doll is to make sure that it has its eye on us. I can do it up close. Is there anything that you have in your arsenal wherein you can do it from afar? Like, we just need its line of sight to be on us and its back facing, like our friends.
No, I do not.
Ooh,
Maybe
what about your
speaks-
companion? Can it do anything?
You look
yeah, you
over
can
at
go in there and what's that?
Mushi. I say, yeah, she
Yeah.
asked that, and you look over at Mushi and Tangletop, and it are like wrestling with each other.
Yeah, I can put Mushi in there and see if he makes enough noise to get the Birdman to look at it.
Would it get hurt? I don't want your friend to die too.
Well, hopefully they'll have it and be out before it comes over here and gets them.
All right, but if it gets too close, like it starts trying to hit us, we can kite it back and then lock the doors where we are right now. Yeah.
Perfect. Yep. I like
Okay.
it.
So yeah, you can go ahead and move into that next room. And as you enter this room, the thing you see, this room, a series of 4 tall paintings hang on the northwestern wall of this hallway as you kind of move down it, although layers of mold and decay have severely damaged them. But as you kind of like walking down the hallway, the first picture you see, looks like a city in flames with ghosts rising from its streets. And there's a bronze plaque on the bottom of it that looks like it's covered in grime that makes it hard to read, but you could probably wipe it off if you wanted to read what the plaque says.
Could I just grab it and put it in my backpack for now?
It's 5 feet tall.
Oh shit.
It's a
never
big
mind.
painting, so it definitely wouldn't fit in a backpack.
Oh, okay. What does the plaque say?
Okay, yeah. So you stop for a moment, just to kind of wipe off some of the grime covering the little plaque. It's made out of bronze, so it cleans off pretty easy. It says, "So shall the fools suffer." And the second picture on the wall, like as you kind of like follow, it depicts what is very obviously this Gauntlight keep that you guys have been exploring. Except for it looks much more grand, and it has like a whole nother second story that seems to have been lost over time. The roof's been collapsed a lot. You can see what it looked like back in its like heyday. And in the top of the lighthouse, you can see there's a pale blue light coming out of the lighthouse, and you can see ghostly faces sneering and grimacing within that light. And again, the plaque beneath it looks a bit dirty and covered in mildew. And I'm guessing
Volok person who owns this, he seems like he has a lot of anger.
And this bronze plaque reads, "Let the light shine forever." The third picture in the hallway is completely shredded. You can see that like whatever picture used to be hanging in this frame, it almost looks like it's been torn free. So all you see are like little bits of like canvas on the edges, and there's like no way to know what used to be in this photo. But the plaque does read, "The artist at work." And then right before you get to the door, there's one last painting. It depicts a smirking woman dressed in a long green gown. And as you stop to like clean off the plaque, you see it says, "The Lady of the Light." And right in the stone work next to this painting, there's something carved into the stone. Nulara and Clovis, what languages do you guys speak?
Just common for me, I think.
Okay.
Let's see.
Common, Duric, and Elven.
Okay. Yeah, I don't believe you guys. Neither one of you guys recognize the words or the language it's carved in, but there is something carved in the stone next to these this painting.
I mean,
wonder
they're
what- you know
probably
what- you know what-
waiting for. They're probably
know what
waiting
that-
for us.
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, but I do have an idea though. Once this is all over and then we have time, if you by chance have charcoal and a piece of paper, we can, I don't know, scratch it over and then it would create an imprint on the paper. And then we could maybe show it to Rin and then she'd understand.
That's a good idea.
All right. Well, they said to give them a couple minutes.
Yeah, we cut back. We cut back to on the roof where Mukta and Hal are like sitting there, like probably like twiddling their thumbs and like waiting. So let me have you guys give me a stealth roll as you trying to make your way across the top of this roof without really attracting attention.
All right. I wouldn't move next to Mukta if I didn't have to. The range is 30 feet.
Okay, you don't have to.
But
Yeah.
I'd levitate it.
So what you could do, right? You could probably sit across the
that up.
room and like levitate it straight up, and Mukta could grab it or something, right?
Yeah, that's what I was.
Yeah,
planning.
that's really cool. Okay, I can visualize that. So you don't have to be right next to Mukta. That's fine. So you can be on this side of the room if you prefer.
Okay.
And Mukta will be standing
Stealth.
right over it. Yeah, still give me a stealth check just to make sure that like as you kind of are up here, you're not noticed. Okay. Ho 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 ho.
Oh no!
Wow.
0 point?
Hero point.
Yeah,
Hero
I'm
point.
gonna hero point.
That is true. You all have one hero point, so
I'm gonna hero point that for sure.
okay. That's a good hero point usage. Okay, 18 and 15.
The thief fails his stealth check. Yeah, not gonna happen.
Okay. So we cut back to you guys. You guys are getting in position, seemingly fairly quiet. Like Mukta, I think there's a minute where like with the slick sort of like moisture and then the mildew, like you hit a patch of mildew and you slip and there's about to be like a loud noise as you grab some wood to like steady yourself, but you dig in deep, that hero that you know is inside of you, and you like manage to like do this perfect like balance thing and like with like complete silence. Do you have a tail?
Yep, I was about to say my tail probably grabs onto it.
Yeah, like a tail can grab it and like just like shift the weight and like completely set your balance, and yeah, you dig in and really avoid a bad situation. Okay. And so you guys are like sitting here waiting for some sort of signal, right? Is that the plan?
As soon as it's distracted, yeah, I'm just waiting to grab the prize as it's lifted up towards me, like we're playing an elaborate crane game.
Okay. So
can he see us from where he's at?
Doors are closed, I believe.
the doors are closed, so you guys are staring at a
that,
set
like,
of closed
when we
doors.
open them. So I'm just figuring
mean,
if we have to make.
You don't
noise
know.
or-
You haven't seen the room, right? So you have no idea.
No. Okay. Well, let's go.
All right, I will.
So do you want my familiar to just knock some stuff over, make noise?
Yeah, try to grab its attention if you can.
Okay.
Wait, do you want to step back a little bit? And then let your familiar get in first? Yeah.
My familiar is he able to talk, Steve?
I don't think you took there. There is a sort of familiar ability that lets it talk, but I don't think you took that one because you took. I see marked in your token. I don't know if this is still correct. You have flyer and dark vision.
Yeah.
So that means your little tree creature can fly at least.
Yep. So
I'll open the door for him.
Which makes it easier to move around the room since he doesn't have to walk on the broken glass and uneven ground.
Yep.
Okay. So Nina, you're gonna pop open the door for it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then run back.
Yeah. So you open the door and like, I guess you just shove like Mushi through, right?
Go on, Mushi, go on.
So I guess like
hide a little bit.
it's like as Halarmony and Mukta are kind of like looking at each other, kind of like, Like, what's the signal going to be? You see the door open and Mushi gets pushed into the room. This little flying tree creature. And immediately, like, the doll, like, kind of activates its head, like, looks up, and it turns and looks, like, at the doorway. And it says, Master Azrene, is that you? And turns and looks right at Mushi. And what's Mushi doing? Describe what you have Mushi doing, Clovis.
Well, right now, how tall are the ceilings in here?
About 10 feet, and then the dome ceiling goes up like another 10 feet in the center.
Okay. So he's hovering about 5 feet right now, and he goes into the room, and then he'll fly all the way up as close to the ceiling as he can get.
Okay, so it starts flying up to the ceiling, drawing attention to the two people that are in the ceiling, like looking for cover.
Oh, I thought they were farther down. I thought they were way down south, and we're up north.
You can't see where they are. That's fine.
Okay. Yeah.
You send them up like flying, right? Immediately, it realizes, like, it's not Master Azrene. It says, "This is the boss's lab," and it too, like this like creepy doll thing. It like leaps up off the ground and it starts flapping its wings, and you realize at this point this thing can actually fly as well, and it starts flying up in the air to go tangle with Mushi. Well, you got the distraction you needed, so why don't we go ahead and have everyone roll initiative? Let's see. Here we go. For Mukta and Hal, you guys are more than able to use stealth for this. If you'd like. Actually, technically, everyone can use stealth except for Mushi, but Mushi is part of Clovis's turn, so yeah.
Yeah, I'm not doing a separate initiative for him, right?
No, yeah, no, he goes on your turn.
Stealth?
Okay.
No, you don't have to, but you can if you prefer. Okay, so I have Nulara, Mr. B. Close, Mukta. The only person I'm missing is Hal. I think you rolled before I had it open, so let me... Oh, wait. Yeah. Alright, I toggled you on. You can override it with your previous number. You actually rolled higher this time. I think it would put you the same place anyways.
I think so. Yeah.
20 versus 22.
20.
It'd be the same place anyways, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, we begin combat. Quote unquote combat. So yeah, Nulara, you're technically first to react, even if you don't necessarily need to do anything. I mean, you can tell me what you want to do, but...
I just want to make sure that his attention is on us, so I know I'm hidden from him right now, so I'll show myself on this door.
So you actually want to show yourself in the door?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Bang my Morning Star on my shield.
Okay.
Go, hey, look over here. That's it. That's the end of my turn.
Okay.
And for my last action, I'll raise my shield. I'll actually raise my shield.
Oh, smart.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any sort of like charisma-based action you can do, or is it other than just get his attention? I mean, there's demoralize and stuff like that. Do you want to do something like that, or is it just getting his attention?
I believe demoralized would be under. Hang on, let me open up my character sheet real quick.
Yeah, I definitely did not go and make sure you had every single trained action that you guys have.
No. It's okay. I have a list. Oh, where is it? Oh, I would intimidate it. Because diplomacy would be under demoralized, but I'm not trained in diplomacy.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that's I see. Yeah, there's under intimidate. There's demoralize.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
it's under demoralize. It's under intimidation.
I see intimidation has demoralize. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yes, I can.
So you can give it the fright. So okay, make an intimidation check. It is within 30 feet of you, so you have the ability to do this. It's a 14 against its targets will DC, and it has a target of 16, so it saves.
Oh, dang. But yes, I will raise my shield.
Yeah, and go ahead and raise your shield. All right. Go ahead and end your turn, and Hal, you're up next. You definitely got the distraction you were hoping for.
Grab the spyglass, you said?
Yep.
And lift it up towards Mukta.
Okay. Yep, and it can move 20 feet completely without a check. It's light enough. This is like light bulk, so it's not even like a heavy object. So
Okay.
You just reach out, grab it off the shelf, and in the back of the room, the spyglass lifts 20 feet in the air, right? Not even 20 feet, like 7, 8 feet up, right to where Mukta's like standing there waiting. And that was 2 of your actions, right?
Yep. I have to concentrate on this, so sustain it.
Sustain it. Okay. That makes sense. Does it say like if the thing ends at the end of your turn unless you sustain it? Probably, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. So it's all 3 actions to move it up and sustain. Very cool. That brings us to its turn. So Mr. Beak gets a turn. So it uses 1 action to like fly up to the top of the room where Mushi's flying around, and it uses its like terrible sharp beak that it has. Actually, it doesn't really attack with his beak. I'm going to say it attacks with his beak, although on this character sheet it's just a fist attack. But anyways, it's going to target Mushi with an attack. So here's the second action. Attack roll. That is a 25 to hit, which is just barely not a crit, but it does hit. And it deals 6 points of damage to Mushi.
And you guys see Mushi just fall straight to the ground dead.
Really?
Oh no!
Yeah.
I feel so guilty.
No, I mean, I'll explain
Wow.
later, but it's the distraction was there, so.
Okay.
Can
So
you
Mushi.
get another one?
Did Mushi
It'll
move
take
into
me
the
a
room?
week, but yes, I can get another one. It just
Yeah.
will take me a while.
Mushi flew into the room and he's up at the top of the dome, not too far from like where you guys are. So it's like there's this flying fight at the top of the room going on. So it flies
But it's
up.
keeping him facing towards our door, not on the other side of him.
Right. And then with its third action, it turns and like looks at Nulara, who's like banging and trying to like scare it. And it does use its third action to fly 20 feet down and just like engage with you. But it doesn't have any more actions to actually attack or anything. All right. And that's Mr. Beak's turn. Clovis, you feel the connection with Mushi break.
Okay, I will. Oh shit, that's gonna hit her though. Alright, so he's gonna cast Tanglefoot.
Okay. I don't know what that is. I'm excited to find out.
So I'm gonna try to slow it down.
Nice.
Okay, so a vine covered in sticky sap
Hey.
appears from thin air, flicking from your hand and latching itself to the target. Oh, very cool.
Yep.
So what does that look
So
like?
I'm trying to figure out how far out do I have to be. Like, what's the range? About 30
It
feet.
says
30
range
feet.
30, yeah. So 30 feet, yep.
Yep. So I'll do it from where I'm at, and I'll position it so that it'll hit just
Yeah,
the
it should,
Birdman.
yeah, it's just a single target, so you are attacking through Nulara, which will give it a +1 circumstance bonus, but it says to go ahead and make a spell attack roll. And I also want to know, like, when Clovis is casting this magic, like, what does Clovis casting magic actually look like?
You see him put his 2 thumbs together and his hand, and from his chest pushes it out And in this case, it's a kind of a greenish light comes off of my hands at the target.
All right, so your greenish light lashes out to try to grab it and hold it in place, and it's a failure. It misses.
Fuck.
That was
Anything else?
2 actions.
Yep, so I'll just take a step back. That'll be my turn.
All right, Mukta.
Damn it.
It just takes 1 interact action to reach out and grab the spyglass, and it's yours.
I grab the shiny.
Perfect. You got the shiny. So you got the shiny in your hand.
And
You can't put it in your cheek pouches, unfortunately.
unfortunately, it's a good thing though that I got that hefty hauler. Otherwise, I'd probably be encumbered right now.
Maybe.
So I will. Yeah, then Mukta will start to make his way back over towards Hal.
Are you trying to be sneaky about it?
Yes.
Okay.
So
So do you
I
have
would
do you
spend.
have to spend an action to put the item away so you can run on all fours, or can you run on all fours if you have something in your hand?
No, I think it has. My hands have to be free.
Completely free. Okay.
Put it in your mouth and run.
Didn't take that ancestry feat.
Didn't take that feat,
Oh, you did.
unfortunately.
There is literally a feat that turns his cheeks into pouches.
So,
But really, it's the same. It's the
wow.
same as like sticking
5,
it in a pouch
10.
on your belt.
Yeah.
Mechanically.
But my words become muffled. 5, 10. So I would 10 feet otherwise, or 20 feet. Well, I have 2 actions left, right?
Yes.
So I won't get on all fours yet. I'll just stride twice, sneakily,
Okay, so you're gonna sneak twice.
stealthily sneak twice. Towards,
You have
Hal.
total cover for both of these rolls because you are like the whole roof is like blocking you, and there's just bits of like of things. So you're gonna get a +4 circumstance bonus to each one of these stealth rolls. So give me 2 stealth rolls to just stay hidden. So the +4 circumstance bonus makes it an 18. Okay. And a natural 20.
Nice.
Is there a bonus for sneaking on a crit?
Let's go.
Success. No, just success and critical failure. Okay, you're good. Okay, so you make it all
I'd
the
like
way.
I like to imagine I just go, Hal. And he, like, I'm just right up on him before he even notices me.
Yep. Okay, so go ahead and move your token wherever the 20 feet you'd like to move. And that's your actions. All right, that brings us back to the next round of combat. Nulara, you're standing face to face with Mr. Beak.
Okay. So I'm going to try and shove it away from me. So I'll push it back.
Okay.
So that's
Can
an
you? I think.
athletic.
Do you have? Because you have. What do you have? You don't have a free hand, right? You have a shield raised, and you have your Morning Star in the other hand.
I will drop my Morning Star.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Okay, so you drop your Morning Star.
Yeah, and then I'll shove him away.
Okay, so that would be athletics check against
This
his
is fortitude.
fortitude. Okay.
Yeah, and that would be my first action, right?
Yes.
Ooh, sorry, Steve.
Sure.
Can I do something else?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll let you back it up.
I would like to strike him, but with a power attack.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So power attack is 2 actions.
Yep.
What does that do? Push him back if you hit him?
No. It's just double the dice if I hit him.
If she hits, it's double damage.
Mhm.
Nice.
So with my Morning Star, Oh no.
Would you like to hero point that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, please.
So
23.
23 does indeed hit.
Yeah.
Make sure you toggle on the power attack before you roll the damage.
Damage. With a power attack, that's 8 points of damage with my Morning Star.
Yep. So 8 points of damage as you crash Mr. Beak. He gets damaged for 8 points. He's like looks pretty agile, like floating in the air, and then you crash into it with the Morning Star, and just you hear like the splintering of like wood and stuff as it just absorbs the impact from your blow.
Okay, so that's my second action, I believe. Yeah.
That was 2 actions. Yeah.
Okay, so for my third action, I will raise my shield again.
Okay. Perfect. Okay. Hal, that brings us to you.
All right. I would like to, seeing Mukta grab the object and disappear. I assume he's coming towards me, so I would like to sneak back on the roof towards the entrance.
Okay. Yeah. So each sneak action, really the only one that's going to require a sneak action that he has any chance of noticing is going to be the first one, and after that you could stride at full speed because it's like in a room down the hall from you. It's really only when you're in its immediate area and it has a chance to see you. So let's do a sneak for the first one. You do get the same +4 circumstance bonus for being on the roof. So that's an 18.
Okay.
Okay. You go ahead and move your 10 feet of sneaking. And then it will not let me move through the wall.
No.
I think I'll just move you there.
Thank you.
I will say, like, you're right up in its face, Nulara, and like you don't hear anything, but you notice that like Mr. Beak gives a slight look up on the roof, like it looks like it might have noticed something.
Ooh, no.
And then yeah, you can go ahead and dash. What's your movement? Like 25, and then what? 25 more. Like you're basically all the way back wherever you want to be over here on the roof.
That's everything.
Okay. All right. Back here in the room, the camera cuts back. Like you see its eyes looking up on the roof, and it like turns and like looks like right at you, Nulara, and it begins. You see its like hand starts doing this weird thing, and it starts waving its hands a little bit, and its hands start to glow with like some kind of dark energy.
Oh, it's magic.
It is casting a spell, but I will say, we did talk about this. This spell has the manipulate action.
And so this, an attack of opportunity.
This does indeed trigger your attack of opportunity if you'd like to take it, because he is leaving himself open for this by casting this spell.
Yes, I would like to take it, please.
Okay, so you can use your reaction to take the attack.
This is the first time.
Yep. If it's a critical success, it will.
Yes. Let's go.
Is that a critical success, Steve?
It is not.
No. What? What is this dude's AC?
Yeah, this hits very cleanly, but it is not high enough to be a critical hit. But go ahead and roll damage on that.
It's got at least a 19 AC.
Yeah.
Dang, so damage.
I told you this thing is a TPK machine.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, that's
What?
with my power attack. No.
Oh, okay, yeah. That was turn off the power attack and just roll the damage again, yeah. Nice.
Oh, max damage.
Still pretty good.
Nice.
Yep, so you crash into it, which splinters it. It looks really hurt. It's definitely bloodied at this point. But it doesn't quite interrupt its attack, and as you strike it, it like reaches out and does a touch spell and touches your arm, and it's going to cast Vampiric Touch on you. So I need you to make a Fortitude saving throw. You should be able to like select your token and click that save in the chat window, and it should do the DC 18 to save, if that shows for you. Yeah. 18.
Yes.
Nice.
Perfect. So okay, so it is going to deal damage. That's low rolls.
Yeah, that's That's
I think you got off light.
a lot. That's
So
a lot of dice.
12 points in necrotic damage. You save. It's a fortitude save for so wait.
Damage.
It's just a basic save. So you saved, so you take half damage. So that's 6 points in necrotic damage. And it looks like it heals a bit. So did you do the damage? Yeah, okay. I was going to do it, but you just manually did it. That works. And it looks like it gets. How do I add temporary hit points to its character sheet? I don't know. I'm just going to give it regular hit points because I can't figure it out right now. Okay, so it heals a bit. And then with its other action, it like touches you and it doesn't work, and you watch as its eyes like look up a bit, and it uses its action to fly up away from you, Nulara, and it flies like just out that hole that like Hal and stuff had been. So Mukta, you watch as this thing just like appears like right out of the roof, like kind of not too far from you. And Hal, you can see it like you've made it far away, and you are now like eye level with this thing that's flown out of the roof. And that's its turn. Clovis. It wasn't sneaky. The door's open, so you see and hear it like fly up out of the room. So you have a general sense of what it's doing, even if you don't have eyes on it.
Oh, I will. Do I have to stop and open the door? Or I guess I can go here. The door's still
Yeah, you just go to the one that you guys left open. So yeah, so you have a stride speed of... Is your speed 30 feet?
Yeah, 30 feet.
Is that because you're elvish?
Yes, I got an extra 5 feet.
Right. Okay, so you're pretty swift.
Hey, Music Man, it's coming. It's coming through the roof.
Yeah, he's on the roof, but a lot of the roof is sort of like holy, so like you could definitely like yell up and Hal could see you.
Oh, isn't that Hal inside the room?
He's actually on the roof.
Oh, shit. Okay.
I'll mark that he's 10 feet in the air.
Yep, so he's up on the roof. All right.
So it's 2 strides to get there. You still have 1 action.
Can't see it, so I'll just get outside the door. I'm just going to get out here so I can kind of see up on the roof.
Yep.
All right.
All right, Mukta. You can't really see it because of the wall business, but if I move your token over one, you can see it's not that far from you.
Doesn't seem like it's noticed me.
He doesn't give any indication that he has. I'm rolling back to check your last stealth roll.
It was the nat 20.
Yeah, no, he has no idea where you are. The first roll, because I remember you got one that he kind of noticed you, but he didn't have eyes on you, right? He just was kind of aware that somebody was on the roof with the 18. But with the natural 20 as your second one, like he doesn't notice you at all. You're like so blended in with like the roof, and you're around because it's like that domed roof, so you're still around it, and you got a little bit of cover from him. Yeah.
Kill it.
Kill it.
Next question: would drawing my rapier like get its attention? Like,
No,
could it
I
get
don't.
its attention?
I think that's sneaky enough that drawing a weapon off your person while hidden, I'm not going to rule that. Like, if you read the raw, it says anything other than sneak will, but I think that's reasonable enough that you can draw a rapier without breaking stealth.
Okay, so I will use one action to draw my rapier.
Okay.
Second action to sneak, and then third action to strike.
Okay. So the problem with this, too, remember, if you sneak, at the end of the sneak, if you don't have cover, then you don't get to, like, benefit from, like, surprising something. So in this case, there's no way to sneak up and strike him. Like, the minute
If
you're
I-
done sneaking, he'll notice you.
Okay.
That's when some of those feats we were talking about comes into play that allows you to do a sneak and a strike.
Yeah.
In, like what combo?
Um.
So if you have a ranged attack of some sort, you could draw a ranged weapon instead, which would give you this flat-footed.
I guess I'll draw my dagger instead then.
Okay. So yeah, draw the dagger.
I am within range of it for it, so.
Yep, and you do have the flat-footed condition, so.
Yep, let me equip my dagger, because I don't usually have it equipped.
Right.
Target is flat-footed.
You barf a dagger up out of your mouth, like a hairball.
This can only end well, I'm sure.
Kill it.
Oh.
No.
Even with the flat-footed condition, your dagger sails high and wide. It's kind of a smaller target, so it's not the easiest strike to make. And in this case, you do miss, and that immediately it turns. And even though it was looked across at Hal, it now notices you and it turns and looks at you.
Action. I don't like being on the roof with this thing.
You can cannonball into the swamp water.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. Actually,
yeah, nice.
I'm jumping into the water.
Okay, so it's 10 feet of falling, which technically does 10 bludgeoning damage. But when you jump into water, it actually can reduce the damage that you take. So I'm just looking at the rules on that. I think it says for every foot that the pool is, it reduces the damage by 1. So if you jump into a 10-foot deep pool of water, you can actually reduce the damage by 10, because 10 feet shorter fall. So as far as jumping goes, how far out in the middle of the swamp can you get? Because if you hit the shore, it's going to be more shallow. If you can hit the center of the swampy water, you're going to be better.
Yeah, how far would I?
Let's see. Jump. So leap is an action. You can leap up to 10 feet horizontal if your speed is at least 15 feet, or up to 15 feet horizontally if your speed is at least 30 feet. So in this case, you could jump 10 feet. So you'd be able to jump. You'd be able to get a little bit into the shallower end. Okay, perfect. So go ahead and move your token 10 feet as you cannonball. Whoosh. And then you land in the swampy water and splash, and that stagnant swamp water starts splashing around you. It makes a lot of noise. You are going to take 3 points of bludgeoning damage.
Better than being on the roof with this thing.
Yeah, I agree. And the other problem is the ground on this, as you now your feet sink into the thing. This is extreme difficult terrain, being in the mud. So if you try to walk through the mud, then it's each square is 15 feet of movement. If you have a way to swim, you could probably swim through the water more effectively. But you'd have to look up the rules of swimming. I'm not entirely sure.
I don't have a swim speed, so I don't think so. It's all right. I'm gonna probably spend my whole next turn running.
Perfect. Yeah, it says if you propel yourself, if you swim, you can propel yourself through water. If it's calm water, you can make the action without needing a check. It looks like you just make a swim check, and then it how far you move is depending on how good your swim check is. So it might be easier to swim than it is to go through the muck, but we'll figure it out. New Lara.
Okay, so the floor is covered in glass?
So this whole floor is covered in broken wood, bits of glass. The whole thing is an uneven terrain. So anyone that walks into that room is forced to make a balance check to even move. And if you were to fall over, just like Mukta said, there's shards of glass everywhere. It probably wouldn't feel too good if you fell over.
But right now I don't see him, right?
You saw the direction he went, which was up and to the side, and you can hear him because he's not stealthy, but you don't have visual contact on him from where you are. Yeah.
Oh man, this is gonna be a gamble.
Jump off the roof.
Yeah. Gamble. I'm a gamble. I'm gonna gamble. What's the balance check? Athletics or acrobatics?
It's acrobatics.
Okay. So I would like to stride 10 feet.
Okay, so what you're going to do in that case is we're going to make an acrobatics check. So I can add, I'm going to add to your character sheet a balance action. Actions. Where is it? Here it is. Okay, so I added a balance action. So what you're going to do is just use the balance action. I think it says to do an acrobatics check against the DC. The DC of this room is 11, so you need to make a DC 11 acrobatics check to move, and then depending on how well you roll it, it shows how far you're able to move. Okay, so a 7 is a fail. So I'm loading up the action real quick. So what it says is
stationary.
Yeah, so you use the action trying to balance, and you're not able to actually... You don't fall prone. It's not a critical fail, but it is a fail, so you don't make any progress using your full action. So one action is used up. You're unable to make your way into the room.
There's not much for me to do here.
It's not your strong suit, that is, I will say.
Nope. Hang on. Get the ruler. There's no way for me to get a view of this guy outside of getting inside the room.
Yeah, because he's flown a little bit out of the wall too.
Okay. You know, if I get over here, like to use 2 stride actions, I still wouldn't get a view of him, right? Because he's on the roof.
It's hard to tell because you have no idea where he is, but unless you can find a way to get outside, you're probably not going to get a good of any eyesight of him.
Okay, well, I'll just use 2 of my remaining actions to stride as far as I can. So that would be, my movement is... Where do I find that? 25, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, 25, so 50 in total. So 25, first 25 is right here. My Lanta. And then...
Tangletop is hiding under the stuff again, by the way.
Okay, and then next 25 would get me up till here. Do I see Hal on the roof?
No. There's a little bit of like holes on the roof, so you get a sense that he's up there. So you do have some sight on him, and even Clovis was able to yell up to him on his previous turn.
Okay, that's the end of my turn.
All right, Hal.
Wait, let me end my
So
turn.
where is this guy in relation to? Because I can't see him. Right.
Right, I'm gonna move your token here.
Okay.
So he's there.
Okay. I'm probably going to climb down. Try to climb down. Jump down.
So do you want to jump down or do you want to climb down? Because those are two different things. Jumping
I'll
down
try to-
is fine, but you'll take 10 fall damage.
The rope's still there, right?
It's not, because Mukta very specifically mentioned taking it with him.
Okay.
But we already established
hanging
that
over.
it is
High and dry.
it is like there are some footholds and stuff, so it's not super impossible. The DC's 15 without the rope and 12 with the rope
But I only go 5 feet, right? So I'll
per
just
success,
go-
unless you get a critical success. But yes, you're right. It's per climb action. It's basically 5 feet.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm still gonna climb down because that's what I would do.
Okay. So let's start with the athletics check. And this is one of those situations where the climb is really like high pressure because it's mid combat, and the higher DCs definitely make sense. That's a critical
fall?
fail. Yeah. So you try to climb down. You spend the action. You fall. So here's the thing: you do fall, which means you're gonna fall 10 feet to the ground and land prone. But you can use your reaction to grab the edge because it happened at the beginning of your climb. If you'd like to try to grab the edge.
Nope.
Okay, so 10 feet to the ground, you take 10 bludgeoning damage, and you land prone on the ground.
All right.
You still have 2 actions.
I will get up.
Okay. So getting up is 1 action, I believe.
And I will stride back into the house.
Okay. Now you see. Now you hear a thud, Nulara, and then Hal comes bruised and running into you.
It's running after you.
It's on the roof. Mukta jumped into that dirty water. I don't think I would ever do something like that.
But I had no idea. I couldn't see him.
But the bird is up there, coming for Clovis.
Oh shoot!
All right, is that the end of your
That's that
turn?
cower behind.
Huh?
Nulara.
Okay.
Yep.
Mr. Beak gets his turn, or its turn. So it's on the roof. Mukta did the sneak attack and jumped into the swamp, and you're now like down in the water. So Mr. Beak is going to use 1 stride action to fly down over the water where you are, Mukta, and begin to peck at you.
Is there a dodge for
Which one's the
rogues
eagle and
on
which one's the
Pathfinder?
fish?
That's good, yeah.
There is a feat, yeah.
Okay, so first attack on Mukta is
Oh
a
my
29. I didn't target you, but I'm guessing that's a crit. What's your AC?
18.
Oh shit!
All right. Well, that is a critical hit then. So you take 14 points of bludgeoning damage.
How you doing?
Body bobs.
Bobs?
Yeah, I'm drowning.
Oh no!
All right, Mukta goes limp in the water. And then it sees you do that, and then it's going to spend its last action doing 1 more stride, and it flies. It takes out Mukta. You watch as Mukta goes limp in the water, and then it like turns and looks at you, Clovis, and just starts flying straight at you, but it can't quite reach you with its last action. All right, Clovis, it's your turn.
Kill it, Clovis!
I am going to try. All right, here we go.
Voice from beyond saying, "A wise friend that said there is no try, only do or do not."
Okay, so you make a spell attack on this creature.
Oh, so close to natural 20.
So 19 misses.
What? I thought it
Are
hits
you
at 19.
freaking kidding me?
No, we didn't know. We didn't
The
know.
minimum was 19 because it wasn't a crit at a 29
Holy shit.
or 28. I think it was a 28. It wasn't a crit. So
Yeah,
you
28.
shoot the
That
acid
I-
blob at it, and it like does a little like shift out of the way because it's this tiny like doll, and it sails right past it.
Oh, Jesus. And at that, Clovis shits himself.
Although you do have a hero point, but
I might need that hero point not to die. All right.
it's true. You can spend a hero point if you're making a death saving throw to like automatically succeed. I think. I believe that's how it works. You should look up the rules.
All
on
right,
that.
I'm gonna do it. What the hell?
You're gonna spend your hero point. 22. That hits.
Let's go!
Hero
kid!
points. Dig in deep.
Ooh.
4 points of damage. He's still alive, but the acid hits him straight on, and yeah. So it's eating like you
Take a
you hear the
splash.
wood being eaten
Yeah,
away.
and you
Oh yeah, and
splash,
that's
yeah.
true. It does splash too, right? So make a spell attack. If you hit, you do a 1d6 acid plus 1 splash. Yeah, he would have hit the splash too, so that's 1 more. He's still alive, unfortunately. But it's not persistent because you did not crit. Okay. So yeah, you have enough speed to run in.
30 right there. Okay.
Yep. Okay.
And... Okay.
All right. Mukta. First time I've asked you for this. Death saving throw.
Right.
I think it's just a flat d20, right?
Yep.
The recovery is the DC 10 because you're dying 0, so that's success. So you reduce your dying value by 1.
1.
But you're...
So
I gotta look up the rules on this again. When you're dying at the start of your turn, you must attempt a flat check with the DC equal to 10 plus your current dying value. So if you succeed, your dying value is reduced by 1. Because you were dying... Okay, so you were dying 1 before. Because you were unconscious, right? So the DC is actually 11 and not 10 because you have a dying 1 condition. So a 10 is actually a failure.
Doesn't it say DC 10 plus your dying value?
It's 10 plus your dying value, so the DC would be 11 because he would be at dying 1 when he went unconscious. Right. I don't think you set the dying condition on you, so then it just pull. Yeah. Let me see. Is there a dying?
Yeah. No, I didn't. Oh, yeah. So
Oh,
it'd
yeah,
be 11.
here it is. Yeah. So dying 1. So the DC is 11, which means it's a failure. So you go to dying 2 now.
All right.
If you reach,
Oh boy.
right? If you reach
4,
dying 4, you're dead.
I'm dead. Yep.
Oh boy, oh
So
boy, oh boy.
somebody, we got some time.
I was hoping to stay out there and do that, but yeah. I
And
think
wouldn't
killed me.
his initiative order move before?
Oh, you know what?
Bird
That's true. Because when you get knocked unconscious, your initiative moves to right before the creature knocked you unconscious.
So technically, he hasn't rolled his dying.
You're right.
save
Technically,
yet?
he hasn't rolled his save yet until after House. So that failure won't happen until later. So if you get healed before then, we'll ignore it. All right. Top of the round. New Lara.
Okay. Let's do this. All right. For my first action, I'm gonna use. I'll stride outside. I cannot select. So 15. Oh, that's not 20, 25. For my free action, I'll release my Morning Star.
Okay.
For my second action, I'm gonna grab my trident.
Okay.
And then for my third action, I'm gonna throw it at Bird Doll. Right. here.
Perfect.
Okay.
Chuck that ranged attack trident.
Die!
Kill it.
Come on.
Kill it.
Natural 20.
Oh,
Kill that bird, man.
Roll that critical hit damage. 16 points.
Nice.
Nice.
are you
So-
dead?
So you do kill this thing. Absolutely 100%.
Oh.
The thing's going to sail through the air, pluck it, and send it flying backwards, and it's going to spear it into the pier as Mr. Beak is no more.
Man, Mr.
Let's
Scrog.
go.
King Scrog. That's
Good.
his trident.
Good
Thanks,
move
man.
there. Oh, that was Scrog's trident.
Yeah,
Awesome.
that's
Boss
Scrog's
Scrog.
trident. Yeah. Scrog, boss Scrog.
Yeah, and that was
And
all
then I
3
yell
actions
out-
though, right? Yeah.
I think I see Mukta over the swamp. Can I run after him and get him out of the swamp?
Well, we're still in initiative order, and that was all
Shit,
3 of your
sorry.
actions. So, Hal,
All right. Can
You
I
see- you see Mukta
Yep.
just lying face down, kind of floating in the swamp water.
move through the door and I'll see Mukta, and then I'll look back towards Nulara, and then I'll swing my lute around to the front, and I will sing a little ditty for Mukta.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Wish you would step back from that ledge, my friend. And I'll cast Soothe on him.
Perfect. Let's go ahead and roll that.
Where is it on my thing? Where's Soothe? It's the D10 plus 4. I can't believe I didn't bring it out. Oh, yeah, I did.
Okay. Perfect. 30 feet. 1 willing living creature. Yeah. So immediately you are healed to 10 hit points, Mukta. You're no longer dying. You're no longer unconscious. You are still dying too, I believe. But
Still
you're
dying 1 because he hasn't roll?
He started dying. Oh, you know what? You're right, because he never actually made a death fail because of the initiative order change. Good call on the rules. So 2 things: 1, you're still only dying 1, and 2, why don't you take a hero point just for being right on that? That's nice. for Nulara.
Woo!
Okay, so we're out of the danger at least. I'm going to go ahead and end the combat because there's no point in staying in initiative order. You guys were able to defeat Mr. Beak. So I will say you guys fought the easy version of Mr. Beak because he's actually supposed to be harder. But given his abilities and the room, you guys didn't actually engage him in the room, so we lost some of the advantage there. But you can see why he can be a pretty tough fight. That one vampiric touch could like if you don't make that save, and if you didn't roll so bad on his vampiric touch, that could be like the end of a character right there.
Yeah.
And we're level 1.
Mm-hmm. With the elite template, he could be 22 AC.
Oh,
Jesus.
Yeah,
right.
Level 1 like that. Like that's a.
He's definitely a harder threat for sure.
Mukta. Boy,
so,
I'm gonna run over to Mukta and drag him out of the swamp.
Yeah. So you get Mukta out, except for when Mukta went unconscious, he dropped the spyglass, and now it's sitting on the bottom of the swamp water.
Oh, boy.
So you have to go down and fish it out.
Mukta will go get it. He has no problem with dirty swamp water.
Right.
He's already dirty.
Which allows, I'm not going to make you guys roll for it, but you do have to spend some time fishing it out of the muck, right?
Surprisingly, Mukta's actually pretty clean.
How? And then I ask while I wipe the swamp water out of my shield.
Also, the other interesting thing to note, Nulara, when you go to recover your trident and like yank it out of like Mr. Beak's like now unmoving body, you notice like in the back of this doll, there is a very sizable, almost like the size of your fist, black gem just embedded right in his back.
Huh. Can I try and pull it out?
Oh yeah, you kind of free it. It pops out. It almost, interestingly, it feels almost like when you pop a AA battery out of something that's like designed to hold it. It like had like a tight grip, but with a little bit of force, it just slides right out. It looks like it could be pretty valuable.
I hold it up. Would anyone want a black gem that powers a bird-killing doll?
Interesting. As I'm like wiping off Music Man, maybe you would want it if it's something magical?
Also,
I can look.
Everyone, feel free to take 80 experience points.
Otherwise, we could
10
sell it
more.
and split the profits.
60 from beating the creature and 20 for the hazard kind of based in the fight.
I think we were pretty clever in getting out of, at least fighting him out of the room.
For sure. You guys had this whole plan to not engage him, and then it turned into a fight anyways. Which that's how D&D always, D&D and Pathfinder goes, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it does sound like getting him out of that room gave us, at least we had a chance.
Yeah, you saw Nulara couldn't even navigate through the room, right? It was pretty bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
So perhaps we turn it in, and Tingletop will give us some experience.
Right. Yeah. So you do kind of take it back to Tangletop. Well, let's do this. It is 8:45. Let's take our break.
Okay.
Let's go to break. Take 10 minutes. So it's 8:45. We'll come back at 8:55. And then we will do the whole wrapping up the side quest, giving the shiny to Tangletop. Although the choice is really yours, right? I mean, it does look pretty valuable, whatever you guys got. But if you do give it to Tangletop, you will get his side quest experience and his last secret that he promised you guys.
Level 2.
I'll give you guys a chance to figure that out. But we're going to go to break. We're just going to take a quick 10 minutes. Be back before you know it. If you haven't given us a follow, please do. We're so close to our goal, 44 out of 50 as of right now. So 6 more follows and we're golden. So we'll be back in 10 minutes as we continue the rest of this playthrough. And we get to end on a high note with an awesome natural 20 from Nulara. That was a good way to end the fight.
Mukta lives.
It's really crazy
Mukta
how
lived. Yeah,
and
Mukta
Mukta lived.
lived.
Yeah.
After getting
Nice.
one shot by a fucking bird.
Wow.
My
It
mother
wasn't a
always
bird.
warned me.
It was
You're supposed to be hunting
Not
them.
even a real bird. It's a freaking doll.
you should have listened to your
Possessed
mom.
doll.
All right, 10 minutes.
Like
We'll
those
see you.
horror movies.
We'll see you guys in just a minute.
right.
See you soon. Welcome back to Ruins of Gauntlight. So, Mike, you were away when we were discussing this, but I was doing a little bit of Googling about like familiars dropping to 0 hit points. Does that mean they die outright or maybe they don't? And what I've learned is it's kind of up to me as the DM to rule like is it an important enough NPC to basically have death saving throws? And the answer 100% is yeah, of course it is. So even though we're victorious over here, I think we should cut back to like Mushi, who like got knocked unconscious, fell on the floor, is lying in like broken glass, debris. But this time that we've been doing like these, couple rounds of combats, it would have had a chance to make death saving throws. So
Okay.
why don't we start right back from break with a death saving throw for Mushi?
Oh,
Or
no,
I'm sorry, I call it death saving throw. It's called a. I'm gonna put a dying 1 condition onto him, but I don't know. It might just roll through your stats. Let's see. Does the character sheet have a
where is-
recovery
is-
check?
Is he still in that room? Because I can't see him.
He is, yeah. So I'll drag him next to you just so you can see him, because you don't have sight through him. I don't think his character sheet actually has the ability on it. So in that case, let's just... When you were doing it, Richard, was it just on your sheet somewhere?
Just it was next to. So.
Oh, I see.
under-
Next to where it says dying.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a little D20 icon.
Oh,
Perfect.
yeah,
So
I see
I'm
that
gonna
on-
I'm just gonna mark you as dying 1, Clovis, to simulate the fact that it's a roll for your NPC. So go ahead and make a dying roll on your character sheet. If you make the first success, it's gonna be lying there. Okay, well, you do not.
That's a no.
Okay, so now we have Mushi on a dying 2. So as it slips closer to death, make the second recovery check. The DC on this one's 12. Okay, that's a success. So that would take it back to dying 1.
1.
And then one more death saving throw would be the last one it would make before you come running into the room. Natural 20, reduce your dying value for 2.
Oh, thank goodness.
So you kind of like you go rushing back to the room, right, Clovis, like looking where like Mushi was like shredded in the air, and you kind of like poke through like you see like rubble, right, because it's like broken wood and glass, and it kind of camouflages. But as you step through the uneven ground, trying to hold your balance, you scoop Mushi like up out of the thing into your hands, and you can feel that he's actually like unconscious, but he's like stable. He's not dying anymore.
Okay.
So it takes about 10, and you can magically heal him, but after about like 10 minutes, you feel like as you're like holding him, his eye like opens and he gets 1 hit point back. Yeah, so he no longer has any dying condition. Perfect. All right. And so yeah, what were you guys going to do with the spyglass? You fish it out from the bottom of the swamp, come back, it's covered in muck, but it still looks particularly shiny.
The secret better be worth it.
Let's go
If not,
give
we're
this
gonna
to
kill
the...
him.
The secret's
Tater
not good.
tot.
We're going to kill him.
So yeah, like Clovis, how often does Mushi get himself into trouble and actually die like this?
Not very often. He doesn't really do a whole lot of combat. He's not strong enough for that yet. I'm still working with him. So,
Okay.
I wanted him to go in there and distract and kind of get out of the way, but we didn't realize that thing could fly right at him. So
Right.
I'm so sorry for bringing that suggestion up.
No,
Clovis.
it's not your fault. It's I thought he could distract him too and just kind of fly around him in circles.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well, but
Yeah,
I still feel really bad.
As I'm holding Mushy, no, he's fine. Look,
I'm sorry, Mushi.
Also, Mukta, how often do you go unconscious and float in swamp water?
Swamp water, not so much, but probably this would not be Mukta's first time with a brush of death.
Sure. So Tangletop, who's been kind of sitting there waiting patiently, hiding, kind of sees you guys like wrapping up and is like, you see like peeking from the door, like just kind of like looking out, like first of all asks, is it safe? Is it safe? And also like, did you get the shiny?
I kind of want to just throw it at her. But no, it's in Mukta's hands, so it's Mukta's decision.
Well, my little friend, we got your shiny. As I cough up a little bit of swamp water.
Uh-huh.
My mother, once again, proven to always be right. Always be wary of bird dolls.
Wow, your mom knew about bird dolls from the beginning?
Very wise woman. I mean,
Oh, wow.
you have to be with over 100 children.
Oh, good for her.
Holy shit.
Very busy.
baby machine.
So Tangletop kind of like is like looking at you like very wide-eyed with his like little sort of hands, and like the whole spyglass is basically almost the same size as this little brownie because it's a tiny little creature. So it like holds out its hands to take it from you if you'll hand it over.
I'm gonna start to hand it over or appear to, and then attempt to palm object.
Okay.
And have like my just empty palm out towards little TT, and then be like, secrets first.
Okay. Make a palm item check just to see how cool it looked.
So that's stealth, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I roll so bad.
Yep. So like pretty much everyone like watching the situation, I think almost everyone probably has a perception that's higher than that. I don't think you fool anyone on your team. From what I can tell, everyone has at least, trained in perception. And this thing is definitely not fooled, but like, so you do this cool move and say secrets first, and like you can tell it's like looking right at the spot where you're supposed to be, quote unquote, hiding it. But you've made your point, right?
A little bit of swamp muck like kind of gets in my way. It's like it usually looks a lot cooler.
Yeah. Even with the failure, you still make the point, right? That it's secret first, so it has in no position to like push back, especially thinking back to being intimidated. So Tangletop's like, okay, last secret. Let's see. So I've been like living here for a few days, looking at the paperwork and just looking at the lighthouse, and I gotta tell you, that lighthouse, it's actually magical. Did you know the music that lighthouse can do more than just shine an eerie light? It can actually shoot a beam full of ghosts.
A beam full of what?
Ghosts? Like, ooh, I'm spooky with like ghosts, but real ghosts, not fake ghosts like I like to make.
It's okay. So let's go in that building over there. We look for the magic that is in that building, and then we go back to a nice place that is warm with people and not so much ghosts.
Nice bath, hopefully.
Hey, before we go over there, look for the magic there, Music Man. Lorala, do you want to show them what we found in there? We found some
Oh, yes.
interesting art that I think we need to take a harder look at. It does kind of fit with what Tangle Top is saying.
Yeah, with their secrets.
Yeah,
And I think
I feel like everyone got over beam full of ghosts quite quickly.
Yeah.
no, not me. No, I actually have a couple questions. So, what do these ghosts do? Do they attack? Do they just float around? What do they do?
Tangletop kind of shrugs, like, I don't know. I doubt they're friendly ghosts, but I've not encountered one directly.
But is there a lot of them at night?
Well, I mean, I haven't exactly seen the ghost, but I've seen the light shining, and it's very creepy. And my research has told me that the beam is actually full of angry ghosts, I think.
Oh, the beam itself is full of...
Being a little cagey and a little bit sort of weird about their answer. Like,
But when
if
we look at the paintings, the
Yeah.
paintings do depict what she's saying.
Yeah,
That's true.
Yeah, she nods and she says, if you give me the shiny, I will show you exactly where I learned this information. And
I
like
look at Mukta.
eyeing where you palmed him, Mukta.
Despite other people's prejudices, Mukta is a Soki of his word.
And I will produce with a flourish, over kind of gesturing,
Mm-hmm.
pretty obvious,
Mhm.
and then hand over the.
Here is your Farseer.
You hand it over, and Tangletop looks really excited. And as it like grabs it, its already big eyes go even bigger, and it like holds it tight to itself. And like there is no doubt that like carrying this thing is like already encumbering Tangletop, but it's it's had its eyes on this prize for a few days, and it's really like happy to actually get it. So for completing this side quest, you guys earn 30 experience points.
Level 2!
Which will bump you up to level 2, which we can do during your next sort of like long rest. So, congratulations. What does that put you guys at, like 820?
How many again?
Just
Plus 30?
20.
Would you say 20 for that?
Yeah, it was 30
points
total.
30 points.
Well,
yeah, so we're at 820. So
820 minus the 800 when you actually do the leveling up, right? So you basically
so it's
reset
20,
to
right?
20, yeah.
Yep, 20 will be level 2.
And so Tangletop's like, okay, I'll show you where I learned. Come here. And like motions you and leads you. And like the downside here is Tangletop just leads you right back to the same painting you already saw and points at it like that lighthouse with the beam of ghosts and says, look, right there. You can see it makes a beam of ghosts. And you can realize, even though Tangletop's not actually seen it do this, it's kind of learned this from this painting and is passing it off as fact.
It's okay. I'm going to go back across the bridge and go to the other room and take a look. You want to come to me, Mr. Muka, so you do not jump off that ledge again, my friend?
It was quite the leap, though, huh?
You also see as you guys go to leave and stuff, like Tangletop like waves by and then flies kind of off into the swamp carrying its like oversized spyglass, and it kind of like flutters off into the distance and seems to have left the area.
But Mukta understands.
So yeah, how you kind of go back over to the altar, and your detect magic, just like before, gives a ping of something magical in the area.
So I start to search around. All
Okay.
the different. Well, what is the most flamboyant or extravagant item in this area?
The altar, by far.
I will go over to the altar and look to see if I can find some opening, pushing the things, pulling the buttons.
Okay. So you spend a good like 10, 15 minutes trying everything you can on this altar, and unfortunately, you find nothing.
Okay, so I don't seize nothing, but it is here. I know it.
I mean, yeah, this takes 10 minutes, right? So I assume everyone probably makes their way over, and if everyone wants to, like, we can keep making rolls until you succeed, and just the only thing that's happening is time's passing, right?
Sure.
Because that's
So
the
you're
only
detecting-
resource here is time.
You're only detecting magic at this altar, nowhere else around? Is it
It's
specific to this altar?
when I walk around, I go down here. What's the range? 30 feet?
Yeah.
30-foot emanation. And
You
I
can
don't
triangulate it to the
detect
altar.
nothing, and then I move back, and yeah, I detect something now. And when I go outside, I don't detect nothing. And when I come back in, yep, there it is again.
Let's have everyone make just an active perception check for me. Because I swear I've rolled like 4 or 5 secret perception checks on you guys, and so far you guys have sucked, so. Ooh, look at
Mine did
Nulara.
a secret one. Oh, I don't even know what mine was. Ooh,
Mukta,
black.
Nulara. Oh, you did a secret one too? Yeah, I see. So you got a 22, Nulara.
Oh,
Mukta got a 24, and Clovis got a 16. So within this time, as you guys spend this 15 minutes overlapping, really narrowing it down to this thing, I'm going to say like probably takes you to about 15 more minutes of time. Eventually, between Mukta and Nulara, you do find that there's one stone on the northern side. It's like a secret panel that like it looks like a stone, but it slides only if you like kind of put pressure on the right parts, and that's why it took so long. It was actually kind of hard. However, you slide it over and a secret panel reveals a sort of stash. And there's a tiny scroll tucked in here and a wand.
I don't know what these are for. I wonder what these are for. And I look and see if the sun's going down.
It looks like we're about 10 minutes from sunset or so.
I do not want to be here when the ghosts fly out of the light.
Is there any traps that I've noticed in my search of this newfound cubby?
Nope, no traps.
All right. I agree with you, Harmony. We've made our discovery. We found apparently your source of magic. And while we don't have a shiny, we have that pretty gem. Maybe we should head back. I, for one, want to take a bath.
And you can, Mukta like is now that we found the thing, he's like preoccupying himself of like getting as much muck off of him as he can.
Yeah. Everybody else want to head back?
yes. I need to patch a couple of these, and then she looks at the scars on her body.
For sure. Okay, so yeah, so you go ahead and retrieve the wand and the scroll, right? It's not traps; you're able to take them, and that allows you guys to sort of head back. So one of the things that like Rin had asked you to do is to come here like after dark, just to see if there's any difference. We're pretty much right at sunset. So do you guys want to just like go around and stand in the front at night and see like what happens, or like are you guys just gonna go back and level up and say screw, we're not sticking around in case a ghost jumps out and murders us?
One of the peoples who was there says the ghosts fly out of the light is good enough for me.
And we do have the paintings that we can describe to her, and a couple of information from TT.
Yeah, I mean, you could even probably not easily, but like take the photos off, take the big paintings off the wall and haul them back to town. And it wasn't capable for you to put them in your backpack, right? But you could just take one off the wall and carry it. It would be kind of bulky, but even if you're going back a little slower, there's nothing to prevent you from doing it now that we're kind of going back to town.
I think I'm gonna. Can I grab 2 paintings?
Yeah. Which 2 did you want to take?
I would like to take the second one that depicts the gauntlet, and then the fourth one with a smirking woman dressed in a long green gown.
Perfect. Also, let's see. What languages do you guys speak? Because you're now seeing the scrawling in the wall, right, Nulara?
Oh, I saw that earlier.
You saw that earlier. You can't. You don't speak it. That's right.
Where are my languages?
Do any of you speak this language that is etched in
It's just under your character on the first page.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, when Mukta goes back with you, Nulara, to kind of like take a look at it, Mukta recognizes the language.
That's right. I speak Aklo, Common, Undercommon, and Soki.
Yeah,
So
I
this
don't
is
know about this thing. I cannot understand it.
This is actually Aklo, which is sort of that like serpent like underworld language, kind of like an occult language of snakes.
Cthulhu?
I live in the swamp.
And so what it says, the scratchings in the stonework next to the thing in common that says Lady of the Light, it says, I serve you still, you shall be avenged.
It says, I serve you still, you shall be avenged.
Oh, wow. You understand this?
I do. The
Huh.
traversing the deserts, the caravans, we sometimes come across people who speak this language, desert vipers and such.
I wonder who she serves. Because everything about these pictures, these paintings, they're so ominous.
It's a bit cliched. I mean, you
think
shall
it's,
be avenged. I serve you still.
I think it's Belcola. Belcola is that
Belcola?
the name in the poem?
Belcora was the name of the poem, yes.
Oh, you're right.
Maybe this light. I don't know. I serve you still. Ghosts coming out of beams sounds a bit like some sort of foul magic. Yeah.
Like world domination, right?
Reasonable.
Oh, well, good thing we're just here to look for information and not beat them.
Glad that swamp water didn't have shark with laser beams attached to their heads.
Yeah.
So
So
the name of our group we got to come up with. We're going to be some type of Ghostbusters. Something
the
like that.
Ghostbusters.
That's a
Who are
good
you gonna
angle.
call?
Us.
So as we gather up the paintings, then Nular, so you take 2 of the paintings. And the problem with the paintings is like they're obviously very well made, but they are very like they've been left to the elements for so long that they are a lot of their value in terms of being like fine art probably went out the window long ago. But in terms of like being an interesting historical artifact and relating to the Gauntlet, there's probably some value attached to these things for the right buyer, at least.
Oh, could I just, so that it doesn't look super conspicuous when we're walking into town, can I just grab the canvas and roll it without destroying it?
Yeah, you want to try to remove it from the frame so you can just roll it up.
I look to Mukta. Mukta, you seem to have more more of a delicate touch than I do. I was hoping if maybe you could take the canvas outside of these frames so that we could just roll it and give it to Rin.
I could try, but my luck has been shit tonight.
Why don't you give me like kind of assessing the like the sort of how sturdy these things and how easy that might be. Why don't you give me a crafting check? Yeah, no problem. You got this.
Oh, yes, this should be quite easy.
There's nothing about it. Like, it's obviously, you just got to kind of remove it from the frame and roll it up with the right delicate touch. It's not going to cause any trouble at all, and you're pretty sure of that.
Yep. I could use some of my thieves' tools to, kind of jimmy some places and pry open,
Okay.
the frame.
Why don't you give me a thievery roll?
Good luck, my friend.
You
not
give him
actually,
guidance.
like,
There we
okay.
go. Guidance.
I was like, are you actually giving me guidance, or are we just going back to that joke?
Yep, you get a +1 status bonus to 1 skill check. So, yep,
Let's go.
All right.
make that thievery check on the first painting. Very
Yes.
So, with the most delicate of hands, which painting are you doing first? Because this is for whatever one you do first, you roll pretty good.
She handed it to me first.
The second one is the one with the gauntlet and the ghosts.
So okay, so you kind of like jimmy it loose, and you're very careful, and you roll it up, and it does not like disintegrate or tear or like crumble. Even though it's severely weathered, you have the magic touch, and you have a currently rolled up, much more easily concealable scroll, sort of like canvas. But as you kind of feel it, like it does like start to crumble a bit around the edges, and you can feel it like kind of decaying and like the mildew. Like, don't be rough with it, right? Like, don't shove it in a backpack and expect it to get back to town fine. Like, as you handle it more, you realize it probably takes a little bit of care here. And so if you want to do it on the second one, which is the painting of the woman, give me another thievery check for that as well.
Do I still get guidance?
It's only for
You
one
have to-
roll.
Oh, one.
Yeah.
You can wait an
And you
hour
have to
and do it after an hour and get another guidance.
Well,
You-
so Clovis gives guidance. I will do the same.
Do not try. Do.
I'm pretty sure he's immune to
Okay.
guidance for an hour.
Right. It
Oh,
doesn't matter
he's
where the
immune.
source
I
is
thought
coming
we couldn't
from.
do it. I gotcha.
The target is temporarily immune, so he can't
Yeah,
benefit
that
from
makes
any.
sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Poop.
So here's the problem on this one, right? Like you get most of it out, but this one is a lot. Like it disintegrates a lot more. So getting it out of the frame in one solid, clear piece is a bit of a challenge. But you do manage to get, roughly like 90% of this thing out. It kind of frays at the bottom. A big chunk of it sort of like decays away, but you still get like a good sense the painting. You still got a good look at her face and the upper torso and stuff. So it's not as clean a job as last time, and probably lost some of its value, but you still got a serviceable canvas rolled up.
Second one was a bit more tricky, but it should be easier to carry. I would advise not to carry them in any of our packs, as they're quite delicate. These will need to be handled with care.
Also, like when you guys were in here, right, and Muka's taking some time to like get the paintings and stuff like that. There were 2 other doors in that room. I don't know if anyone ever actually checked them out, or if anyone would want to use this time to check them out, just so you. Yeah, I don't want to like force you to, but if there's some downtime and you want to see what's behind those doors, we can do that, or we can just come back at level 2 and be safer. You guys tell me.
I know you're a curious one, Mokta, but I think it's time to go. And he looks at the fading sunset. I do not want to be here when we get shot with the ghost laser beam. Laser? You said it. I did not.
Ghostly light, ghostly beam.
Not a flashy word.
Okay. So yeah. So we, assuming that you all heed that warning, then we can go ahead and kind of do our montage back to Otari. So I think sorry, go ahead.
Can we Mukta's gonna like turn around as we're walking to
Of course. Yeah.
Just
So-
to take a look at the
Because the Gauntlight, the lighthouse is in view for quite a while on your walk back to town. Like from town, it's not completely visible with the swamp in the distance, but as you're walking away, it's visible for quite a while because it goes like 100 and something feet above the keep. And as the sun does go down and it becomes like darker here, you do indeed watch as like sort of the pale light becomes to be much more apparent in the lighthouse. I wouldn't say like a ghostly beam like in the painting where it was like shooting ghosts out. You don't see anything like that. But from this distance at the lighthouse, like with no sunlight on it, it very obviously has a pretty clear blue glow right at the top of that lighthouse where you guys were before. much like that picture that I shared with you guys before, and I can share it again because it's probably let me see. Where is it? What?
Time to get out of here.
This one right here. So this is probably a good indication of what you see, especially just right before sunset. The blue glow is like super apparent, and anyone that would doubt that this lighthouse was glowing in the daylight, there's no doubt in your mind anymore. This thing is activated, whatever that means.
That Clovis and Mukta probably saw it because we came during the day.
Right. That's true. They had gone and explored up inside of it, so they've actually been in the top of the lighthouse during daylight, at least. Okay. And so we make our way back to Otari, and that allows. Yeah, we're making our way back, and that allows us to. So it's like a 20-minute walk back to Otari. It passes uneventfully for you guys, up the path, back in, and when you first come to Otari, you step out of like the swamp just in the edge, and you guys all kind of look at each other. What is your guys' sort of plan? I know just the night before you guys had all set up shop at the Crow's Cast, right? No, it was it wasn't the Crow's Cast. Was it the?
It wasn't the Crooked Rook or whatever that is.
I think it was it the Rowdy Rockfish? I think it was it's the Rowdy Rockfish. That's your base. That's your home base, which is down. Now, can you guys all see the journal notes on the map?
No.
If I click on the journal, it's a little ribbon on the left.
Okay, yeah. So on the left, there looks like a little ribbon that says journal notes, and then there's a pin that you can either turn it on, like pin it on, or pin it off too. So I have mine pinned on. I thought it did it for everyone, but I guess not.
Oh, I see it. Okay.
And that allows you to kind of see what all these like locations in the city actually are.
Oh.
So the Rowdy Rockfish is down here, and that's where you guys currently have your little base of operations set up. But yeah, you guys all kind of like emerge from the swampiness back into a sense of civilization. The town has sort of shut down for the night. It's a very early rising town. They get up like even before dawn to start like getting ready for their lumbering work, and they are all back in town and kind of like winding down by sunset. So early to rise, early to bed sort of town.
Should we probably relay the information that we got to Rin before heading to the Rowdy Rockfish, or should we get cleaned up
Perhaps
first?
we should get cleaned up before we go see Rin. If they don't have a a bath for you, maybe you can jump in the bay or in the river before we go to see Rin.
All right. Well, if you guys don't mind, I'd actually like to I'll meet up with you at the Rockfish, but I have to pass by the cemetery for a little bit.
I side-eye Nulara again.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be quick, I promise.
We'll have dinner waiting for you. Of course, unless you have dinner at the graveyard.
Nah. They don't serve anything there. I'll meet up with you guys.
That was just a test. And you passed.
Okay.
Yep. So Nulara kind of splits, like, because you kind of come up here, right, in the road, outside of this, like,
the
sort
crossroads
of
again. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's like that stone ring pond up at the top of the hill, and then the road splits left and right. One towards the graveyard, the other one kind of goes back around to town. So I guess Nulara kind of splits off on her own at this point and heads towards the graveyard. What about Clovis and Mukta and Hal?
I don't know, guys. I'm going to the Rockfish. I'm a little wounded. I kind of fell on my pride. I mean, I fell on my side when I fell down. So I want to go get cleaned up and make sure I'm ready to go.
You're staying at the Rowdy Rockfish, yes?
Yes.
I was staying at the Crook's Nook, but I only booked one night. I tend to, go night by night. I never know where my path might take me. If you don't mind company, I would not mind joining you for a little bit of rest before we make our way to our mutual friend Ren.
If you don't mind the music, I'm going to play the music later. Hopefully, I can get a free room, like our old friend before she left. But yeah, please, that would be great. Come with me. Tell me all about your journey.
Well, if you're going to play music, then you definitely can't get rid of me now. What about you, Clovis?
I will tag along with you guys if you are cool with that.
It's a party.
I would also
Indeed.
like to get some food and listen to some music.
But like you said, Hal, if they don't have a bath, I think I will take a dip in the river.
Indeed, you and me both.
There's definitely a bathhouse here somewhere within the town. If you guys would like to swing by a bathhouse and actually get cleaned up.
That definitely does that.
For sure, yeah. You probably need it the most.
Yep.
Okay, so the group splits, right? And like 3 of you guys head the long way into town, and then New Lara kind of walks towards the graveyard, and like the camera of the movie we're watching kind of like drifts and follows New Lara kind of back towards the graveyard. So what do we see New Lara doing?
So I
Having dinner amongst
By yourself.
Having tea.
So I walk back to the mausoleum at the farthest corner of the graveyard that I've been using as my home before we got the Rowdy Rockfish. I set my backpack down for a little bit, and then unknot the knots on my shoulders. I look in the corners, and then just focus on one corner and say, I know I've been asking you what purpose I have, but I feel that slowly I'm getting an idea. It's pretty big. And to be honest, I'm not sure I could handle it. For now, though, I think what's bringing me comfort is the most immediate thing that I could see is making sure that these people are protected. I just need you to tell me why you brought me back. And then I wait.
Yeah. And you've been doing this for a little while, and most of the time, as a like 99% of the time, you don't even get any sense that anything's there. But tonight, as you reach out, you do get a sort of it's not really a voice as much as it's like a feeling that's conveying emotion and sort of like directly talking from within you almost. But while that like feeling is like kind of in your heart, you do out of the corner of your eye feel like there is sort of a presence there in the corner watching, being here with you.
At some point, you have to talk to me. You brought me back. Then I looked to that corner where I thought I saw her.
Yep. And the minute you like shift your sort of like vision to the corner where you see it and you put your focus on there, it's like gone. And then you feel like it's only ever visible on the corner of your eyes wherever you're not looking, it's just on the edge of your vision in like kind of an annoying fashion. And there is a sort of like low voice that speaks. And it tells you, didn't it feel good today? You helped a spirit break free of its bond. 2, in fact.
It did. But also, I felt very confused because we just walked in there and killed anything that we saw. It didn't feel like it meant anything.
It meant something to the spirits. those that had been trapped within that temple for who knows how long.
Hmm. So these
You asked-
ghosts, would you know what they are? Do you think Rin would have the answers for them, or would you just wait and see?
Something within this lighthouse is binding these spirits into its service. Something even I cannot see. And I do not know the purpose. But you ask why I brought you back, Nulara? It is for this. To free these spirits that have been trapped in the gauntlet. To find out what they're being used for.
I don't feel I'm strong enough. A companion of mine just died, or almost died, with one hit. And that's just one creature. The doll that we met, it spoke of many more, and the paintings that we saw spoke of many, many more ghosts. If one creature was able to just outright bring a man unconscious, I have no idea how we can defeat this thing or free them from whatever it is that binds them.
You will grow stronger. I will watch over you. But this must be done. This is your burden.
Well, that's comforting. All right, well, I did promise Hal that I'll be back quickly. Well, thank you. I'll see you again. And then I head to the Rowdy Rockfish.
Okay. Yeah, and you kind of like head out of the mausoleum you've been using sort of as a like a base of operations. It's not far. Like the graveyard here is kind of like built on the top of like a high cliff. You can even see it in the picture, right? There's like a high cliff that goes down, and over the years it's kind of eroded away more and more. So the graveyard, as you know, the decades roll on, it kind of keeps shrinking as more and more like mudslides kind of take away. So you got some distance, but you can kind of see out over like the town of Atari. And for just a moment, you feel like you can see that blip of glowing blue light on the horizon. And when you turn and like look at it, it fades. And you're not sure if you actually saw it or if it was just, you know, it's there and something inside of you is sort of kind of subconsciously drawing your attention to it.
I take in a deep breath and put one foot in front of the other towards the Rowdy Rockfish.
Okay. And so there's like the camera kind of picks up out of the graveyard, zooms over like the Dawnflower Library across this like sort of rustic lumber town and to the Rowdy Rockfish, where we see a patron kind of like opening the door, coming out as our camera falls in. And the three of you guys are doing what at the tavern?
I'm going to attempt to play some music and maybe earn a few coins.
I don't think you'll be able to earn like an actual like money from playing.
Yeah,
It'd have
I
to be
know.
like a full day downtime, but you can do that sort of busking sort of thing. She'll
Exactly.
This is usually like, despite the name the Rowdy Rockfish, right? This is kind of like the more mellow place in town, and so like live music is fairly uncommon here. So if you play, she asks you to just kind of keep it more soothing and not try to rile up the customers.
Yep.
Mud
will
on
keep
your
it-
face, you're a big disgrace.
Play some classic rock.
I like to
Yes.
imagine like as Hal's over there playing and like Mukta and Clovis are sitting at the table. We're probably like right in the middle of Mukta telling some story because you were saying something about like tell you about like the journeys and stuff. So I like to imagine one of the two, either Mukta or Clovis, is in the middle of some story, and we only catch like the last sentence of that story. So who wants to tell the last sentence of an epic story?
Go for it. Mukta.
Out of the sand, a giant worm, twice as big as this tavern. The third thing my mother always wanted.
Perfect.
Your mom.
Nice callback. And so yeah, and you guys look over and Hal's like playing over in the corner and stuff. So, is the plan to just like regroup? And do you guys want to go talk to Rin like tonight, or do we want to spend the last few minutes of our session actually leveling up?
Level 2. I'm playing John
Level
Tesh.
2.
Nobody's heard of it.
Okay,
Landslide.
Nice. So Nulara eventually joins, and like the rest of you guys like kick back here in the Riding Rockfish. You guys are like really good friends with the owner here. Her name is Brelda Venkervale. She's a dwarven woman who is running this tavern, and she's taken to such a liking to you guys based on previous encounters you had with her. She provided you with free lodging here, so you all have rooms to stay in free of charge. And so we can kind of do that like fast forward as you guys go ahead and take your long rest. Like you take like the 8-hour rest, which is going to take us to like the next morning and allow you guys to level up. So
Woo!
That take me back down to dying 0.
Yes, that is definitely true. Yeah, you guys go back to dying 0. And so
For the HP, it's not like with D&D where we get full health right away, right? It's like something plus.
it isn't, right? So you do only recover a little bit of hit points for taking a long rest. But given that you guys have like treat wounds available as a group and stuff, I'm not gonna like stress over it too much because I can imagine as part of some downtime you guys can heal each other.
I will do that.
So that's a good point because I don't know because we haven't leveled up. We've built characters in Foundry, but we have not leveled up, right? So let me open one of your character sheets. I think at the top you just change your level from 1 to 2.
Yeah, and then updates
I
like
did
your
that, and my
HP
AC
level.
changed automatically.
Same.
Oh, nice. Yep.
So I'm actually interested to know like
Perception
how.
went up by 1. My initiative went up by 1.
So in terms of choices we need to make, everyone gets level 2 choices that your class provides to you. In addition, we've been saying since the beginning we're going to do the free archetypes sort of thing.
Yes!
So this is the level where you also take a free archetype to add on to your character.
What's that?
So archetype is almost like a way. It's like a mini version of multi-classing. So the way that archetypes work is normally when you take a class feat at like level 2, you would take a class feat in whatever class you are, like a bard class feat. But you could take an archetype in place of a class feat, and you could say, I'm going to take acrobatic archetype dedication, and now you are also considered like an archetype. And then later on, when you get class feats, you can take it from bard, or you can take it from the acrobatic list. But what we're doing is, since we're giving everyone free archetypes, you get those archetype feats in addition to your class feats, not instead of. So every even level, you're going to get another feat to go with it. So at level 2, you're picking like an archetype dedication feat. And then at level 4, you'll be able to pick a feat from that archetype. So, yeah. So let's see. Proficiency bonus. So I guess your proficiency bonus goes up every level. In D&D, there's kind of this step tier thing where it's like, your +2 for a few levels, and then it jumps up to +3. But here it looks like it's just +1 completely, like every level, which is why so much of your stuff, anything you were trained in, probably went up by 1, and everyone's at least trained in perception and whatever armor you're wearing, so that's why your AC increased and all that. So that's kind of cool. So real quick, let's see. Mukta, as a rogue, you get a lot of stuff because rogues get a lot of stuff. So at level 2, from your class, you get a rogue feat because everyone gets a class feat. You get a skill. Sorry, what's that?
I picked quick draw.
Quick draw, awesome. You also get a skill feat. So if you look at there's a lot of feats in the game, and they kind of fall into 2 buckets. One are general feats, and one are skill feats. And so a skill feat is one that's tied to an actual ability. Like if it's tied to it's like a skill tied to athletics, or tied to diplomacy, or tied to medicine. So you'll find feats under each skill. And so when you get a skill feat, you can pick any one of those. And general feat is a whole nother list of feats that aren't tied to a specific skill. It's just like small bonuses you get to your character. So at level 2, you all get a skill feat.
Yeah, I get a rogue feat, skill feat, and skill increase.
Right, and for the skill increase, that lets you take, I think at this level you can take anything from trained to expert, but you can't go beyond expert yet.
Yeah, so I went to expert in thievery, and for my skill feat, I picked wary disarmament, which requires expert in thievery.
Very cool. And so, yeah, you get the rogue feat, the skill feat, and the skill increase. The other people only get their class feat and a skill feat.
Yeah.
Still looking at the archetype.
That's what I got.
Okay. So did anyone else already make their choices? Hal, Nulara.
What's the skills feat under?
So if you're looking on Archives of Nethys, you would go to feats, right?
Yeah, I'm actually in Foundry, so.
Well, again, Foundry doesn't do a very good job about grouping different feats and stuff. So using Foundry to like see what possibilities you have to choose.
Oh no, I already know my possibility. I'm trying to find it to drag to my.
Oh, okay. So you're trying to find the choice in Foundry.
Yeah, I'm trying to find skill feats. Yeah,
got it.
I got my druid feat already.
Okay, so under in Foundry, you're gonna see a thing that's called feats. A bucket called feats.
Okay. So
and then what feat are you trying to add?
Expert in nature.
That's what it's called?
Yep.
I don't see that as a feat name. Under nature, I see express writer, natural medicine, quick identification, recognize spell, but I don't see anything that says expert in nature.
Found that when I was looking at my stuff. I went to skill feats, so okay, I guess I got to rework that.
You said it was called let's see, expert. Yeah, I don't see that anywhere on Archives of Nethys, so maybe you just wrote the wrong name down. But what did you take for your class feat?
Enhanced familiar.
Oh, so is that the one that lets you get 2 additional, like, familiar bonuses or whatever?
Yes, I believe so.
Very cool. Okay, and Nulara, what did you take for your class level ups?
For my class, I haven't picked the class level up yet, but I have one for my skill.
Okay.
It would be intimidating prowess. How do I add that? Yeah.
Let's see. Feat is an intimidation feat, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So. Yeah. So what's your?
Oh wait, no, never mind. I'm not an expert in intimidation.
Ooh.
Yeah, I have to be an expert.
You'd have to be an expert in intimidation first. Okay. Well, that's good to. A lot of those require like expert in intimidation, huh?
I know, like for level 2s. Wait, that didn't make me an expert right away.
What?
When I level up, would that make my train?
No. So.
Oh no.
There are like certain level up things. Let me look at your.
Because I'm looking
character.
at the choices of feats right now, and then for level 2 skill feats, most of them require like an expert.
Right. So if you look at like at level 3, you get the skill increase. So at level 3, you'd be able to increase something from trained to expert. So even if the level 2 feat requires you to be expert and you're not, then you have the ability to take level 1 feats, which don't require you to be experts, right? Even though it's a level 2 slot, you can take your level or lower.
Okay, I see.
So there's probably ways to get experts in intimidation, depending on. I'm not sure, but I'm sure there's ways to get up to expert by level 2. You know.
Okay. So right now I'm just kind of stuck with the level 1 skill feats because I don't have a skill increase yet.
Right, and you're not an expert on any of your skills.
Okay.
It does not look like you are yet. As a fighter, you don't look to be. So, if you were a rogue, you could be like Mukta.
Yeah.
And then, so Hal, what have you chosen so far? Hal, are you there?
Virtuoso performer.
Okay.
And I want to take the polymath muse.
Ooh. So virtuosic performer allows you to get a second muse?
No, that's just a regular feat that gives me a circumstance bonus for performance.
Okay.
A certain type, and obviously it would be strings.
Sure.
And if it's master, it gives me a +2.
Got it.
Apply the bonus effects at that time. But at level 2, I can take another muse in place of, I forget where it is.
There's something about like
a multifarious muse, which allows me to select polymath.
Okay, so let's see. So I see. So that's your level 2 bard feat is
right.
Got it. Okay.
So lets me take multifarious muse, and then which lets me take another feat, which would be what is the one? Vigilance something or other. I forget. It's I was just looking at it.
So you're taking the multifarious muse level 2 bard feat, right? Which then gives you a polymath as your new like as a second muse, right?
Correct.
And then you get,
I gain the versatile performance feat from that muse.
Well, it says you gain a first level feat that requires that muse, and you can take feats with that muse as prerequisite, but you don't get any of the other effects of the muse. So you don't get like the versatile performance feat.
Yeah, it says I gain it when I gain it.
Well, if you take polymath as a muse, you do, right? But the multifarious muse just says you gain a first level feat that requires that muse, so you can take a level 1 feat, but you don't get whatever's under the polymath, like all the stuff that comes with it, other than the feat. You don't get. So it's not like it's like you dip your toes in it, but you don't get all that stuff. You don't get the versatile performance feat or unseen servant. Is how I'm understanding this. Because it says you gain a first level feat that requires that muse, so you can look at the bard feats that require that muse, and it says you don't gain any of the other effects of the muse you chose. That's the reason why I'm pretty sure it doesn't carry over.
I'm reading. The muse you gain gives you another muse type, granted you the associated first level feat and access to future feats.
You would basically take. I guess that's true. What they're saying in chat is like, because you take the versatile performance as the feat you're getting in place, you don't get it automatically, but that could be your level 1 feat, right? Because the versatile performance is the polymath feat. So that makes sense. That lines up. Okay. So you get to take. So it's like this weird, like, sort of chain, right? You take the polymath, you take the multifarious muse, which gets you the polymath muse, which gets you a level 1 feat, which is then the versatile performance feat for the polymath muse. Okay.
There you go.
That's a lot. That's a. Yeah, because and that's a good point. It's the only first level feat with that thing. Okay, so that's how that chain of events goes, and that's all based off the bard feat that you took. And so, what was your skill feat? I forget. It was the strings one. The
performance.
It was the performance based one, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And you know how you found how to add those in the under the feats tab. So under the under the compendium, what you guys are going to do for your feats is you're going to open the feats folder. And it's going to give you a list of all the feats, and then you can just Google like the name of the feat you're picking and drag and drop it on your character sheet.
What's this Google you speak of?
Oh yeah, not Google, search bar.
Where is
perfect?
There.
Thank you, Selexia, for the confirmation in chat.
So I dragged Enhanced Familiar. I see that, and then
that was your Enhanced Familiar was your druid feat, right?
Yep, and I see that moved over, but I dragged my. Still looking up the skill feat, but the archetypes I did familiar master, and I dragged that, but I'm not seeing it anywhere on my sheet.
Okay, so
don't drag the actual archetype. Open the archetype up and pick the dedication feat, and then drag that over.
There you go. Yeah, you need to get the dedication feat for your archetype.
Yeah.
And what was your dedication feat, or what was your archetype you were taking?
Who, me?
For Clovis, yeah.
Familiar master. Oh, I see. There's different feats. Feat 6. Okay, so I got to drag the second one over.
So here's the thing, because if you take the familiar master dedication feat, then that gives you enhanced familiar already. So that wouldn't be your druid feat.
Oh, it does.
Right.
Okay.
So it says if you take the familiar master dedication, it gives you a familiar. But if you already have a familiar, then it gives you the enhanced familiar feat.
Okay.
So that would free up your druid feat to go somewhere else. So you still have the druid feat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you still have the druid feat to pick and the skill feat. Is there anyone else that needed help narrowing down their choices, at least on the class side of things? Mukta, you found the skill you were increasing?
Yeah, I'm all set for everything, actually. So I increased thievery. I got the wary disarmament for my
That's right,
skill
you did
feat.
do thievery. Okay.
I did quick draw for my class feat, and then I picked the acrobat dedication for my archetype.
So what was that disarm feat? What does it allow you to do?
So it gives me where is it? It's a +2 circumstance bonus to either my AC or saving throw against a device or trap if I accidentally trigger it.
Oh.
While
which you never would, right? Because
of course, never. My luck is amazing.
Got it. So I was thinking of like disarm, like I'm disarming something, but it's like trap-based disarmament. Perfect.
Yeah, and that only applies to when I'm trying to disarm it, not for like,
only to attacks or effects triggered by your failed attempt. Right.
So if I'm trying to disarm the trap and I trigger it, not if like, someone steps on a pressure plate and spears go flying.
Perfect. Yeah. It's only if you actively fail disarming. So
Yeah.
it'll never come up.
Never, ever, ever.
Perfect.
I roll only natural 20s, so.
Yes.
And then I forget, Nilar, do we have any outstanding choices for your character?
Yes. So for my second level class feat, I'm gonna take the aggressive block.
Okay.
And then I still don't know my general skill because I thought I had a lot of choices, but apparently not.
Well, yeah, because you're not expert in anything, so it kind of narrows those choices, right?
Yeah, with like a lot of level ones. But how do I add the aggressive block on my foundry?
Okay, so you see the compendium section, right? There should be something called feats.
Compendium. Okay. Where do I see that? I'm sorry.
It's so the compendium tab is like the second to the last one. It looks like a book next to the gears.
Okay.
And then under that, you'll see a folder called feats. And then in there, you just search for like aggressive, and you'll see the aggressive block one. And that allows you, if you use your reaction to shield block, and your size are smaller, you can basically push them back or knock them off balance. So they get to choose if they want to become flat-footed or get shoved back 5 feet every time you shield block. That's cool.
Yes. And then
So-
I just drag it to. Oh, sorry, Rick.
No, go ahead, please.
Do I just drag it onto my sheet?
Just drag it to your sheet and it'll add it under the right. So I see it added it
I
under.
It's a free action?
It is because it's tied to the shield block reaction,
shield
right?
block. Got it.
So anytime
I
you shield block,
see.
you can do that. Yeah.
Okay.
So how do I bump this thing up when I want to modify my skills, my core skills?
Okay. So do you have an effect that lets you bump your skill up?
Yeah, it was the virtuosic performer.
Oh, got it. Yeah.
Give me
So
plus
you
1% bonus.
under your on your character sheet, you go to the skills, right? You just got to left click where it says trained, and it bumps it up to the next level. If you left click, it bumps it up, and if you right click, it bumps it down.
Well, it doesn't give me expert. It just gives me a circumstance bonus when making a performance check.
Okay. In that case, it's probably just something you'll have to remember.
Okay.
Is it all performance checks you ever make?
No, it is when attempting a performance check of that type. So when I play my music on my strings, I can do a performance check, which I'm going to hopefully use with my vigilant whatever when I intimidate the guys from 60 feet away.
So as a to-do item, make sure to like message me or put it in our chat. I will create a dynamic active effect that does that, and we can attach it to your character sheet, and you can toggle. I mean, it'll be on unless for some reason we need to toggle it off. Then we'll just toggle it off.
Alrighty.
But that'll solve that. But it will. I don't think there's an out-of-the-box solution for that, but we can cobble one up pretty easily. Okay. I believe also you guys get one more first level spell slot and spell. For the druid and the bard, right?
What? Do I?
Good.
I imagine so. Let's see. That's what the biologist is saying in chat. So let's see. So there's got to be a spell sort of level, right? So at level 2, yeah, you get 3 first level spell slots. And it says when you get so as a druid, right, you have spell slots and all the spells are available, so you can just put whatever ones in you want. But as the bard, you actually pick spells when you level up. So let me just see how the spells work. Each day, as you increase level, the number of spells per day increases.
I don't get more cantrips. I just get one more spell slot, right?
Yes.
And I pick? Okay. Occult.
I'm just saying because it says you get one more spell slot, but how do you earn
additional spells?
Right. Oh, okay. At first level, you learn 2 first level spells. Each time you get a spell slot, you can add a spell to your spell repertoire of that same level.
Cool. Gotta go find the occult spell.
Yep. So at second level, you select one more first level spell, and at third level, you get 2 second level spells. Okay. Awesome. So you get to just add a new spell to your list, and then you're a spontaneous caster, correct? So you just have one more spell and one more slot. Versus Clovis, who gets just one more spell slot to stuff one of your spells into. Okay, and so I did hear Clovis talking about taking Archetype Master, or sorry, Familiar Master. Is that the archetype?
Yeah, that's what I took. So now I gotta find another feat.
Another druid feat. So Mukta, what about your archetype? Do we take Acrobat? Is that what you're still sticking with?
Yep.
So now we got an acrobatic Mukta. Very cool. And so the acrobatic feat allows you to become an expert in acrobatics. So now you're an expert in 2 things.
Yep.
Oh, so here we go. Nulara,
Damn.
if you take an archetype that increases your intimidation to expert, you could take the expert intimidation feat, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
You just have to find a dedication feat that does that.
Yeah, I don't know if there is one, but if there is, then that would be cool.
Right now, I'm looking at intimidating glare Because I'm reading the handbook right now, and apparently, if a creature couldn't understand what I was saying, I would have
A
had to
penalty.
take a -4. Yeah,
Right.
circumstance penalty to the check, and I don't think we've been applying that.
Well,
Been able to understand you.
Mr. Beak could understand you.
Oh,
And what else?
or maybe I'm thinking of like, because I know. Oh, I'm thinking of like the beginner's box that we did because I
Yeah.
remember I did a lot of like demoralize actions for that.
It's true, and they probably didn't understand you. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Well, we're learning.
We are. Yeah, we are learning. And then,
More you know.
so Hal, have you looked at archetypes yet, or are you still got all of this to review?
I'm still picking my spell.
You're still on the spell list. Okay. Yeah. I mean, there's no need to get all of this done in this session, obviously, because we're already over time. But I'm sticking around to help you guys through as much as you
I
guys.
thought I had this thing, and then it's like shit.
So I'm trying to go back and figure out. So you said you were trying to find some skill thing that was called like expert in nature.
Nah, don't worry about it. I think I saw that in the book. I picked my skill feat, so I'm good.
Okay. So what did you pick for your skill feat?
Continuous recovery.
What skill is that
allows
under?
me. What's that?
What skill is that tied to?
mean?
It's a feat. Continuous recover.
It's I went to skills. It's it allows me to treat somebody every 10 minutes instead of every hour.
Oh, so it's probably a medicine skill.
Yeah, it's a medicine. Sorry.
That's right. Okay. Perfect. So yeah, so under medicine we see sorry, I went to the wrong thing. Yep, continual recovery. But see, you have to be an expert in medicine for that. So are you an expert in medicine?
Good, I gotta learn. Probably not. I don't think I'm an expert in anything yet.
Probably not. No, it looks like you are only trained in medicine. So you don't qualify for continual recovery because much like Nulara with the level 2 feats, a lot of them require you to be an expert in something.
Okay.
But what did you take? You said you took a druid feat too, right? Or are you still
No, I
looking at
did,
your
but
druid
remember
feat?
my other one canceled that out, so I got to go back and find it.
Right.
Now. So,
I was trying to see if there's something that a druid feat that would make you an expert in medicine, but it doesn't look like it. There's some of the meta magic stuff that lets you change some of your spells a bit, like widen your spell and make your spell go out farther and stuff. So that's something to look at.
What's the best way to get to just druid feats? Go to feats or
under
go to
Archives of
druid
Neth. On Archives of Nethys, go to classes, druid, and then druid feat at the top.
Steve, I got to pick my skill feat. It'll be the intimidating glare.
Intimidating glare.
Yeah.
So you still get to be intimidating.
But like the auditory trait goes away. It doesn't matter if I speak their language. I can just give them a glare.
Yeah.
And they get scared.
You can make that. The look on your face says it all, right?
Yeah.
So, one of the things that Biologist is saying in chat for Clovis, if it's an option you might want to think about, is instead of taking like the familiar archetype, you could still take the druid enhanced familiar feat, and then as your archetype, you could take the medic archetype, which would make you an expert in medicine, and then allow you to take that feat you're looking at. But that would completely change out your archetype from the familiar master into the medic.
Oh yeah.
I would double check too, because I know as the leaf druid, you get a lot of stuff that are based around your familiar. So we should probably double check and make sure that the familiar master doesn't step on the toes of that one too much, because if they both just give you the same stuff all the time, that might not be good. But it doesn't look like that's the case. It looks like it's different. It's just that first step kind of steps on your toes a bit, I guess.
Okay.
So, anyways, I think as far as stream time goes, we got some time to figure out. We got a whole week to figure out what choices we want to make and do this. So I don't want to like drag this out too much. Some of you guys got some sneak previews into what we got coming next week. You guys are all a lot stronger. How much did your hit points go up? Quite a bit.
I'm at 34 now.
Mine went up 10, so I was at 18. Now I'm at 28.
Okay.
24. So.
And my AC is at 19, and with like Ray Shield, my AC goes up to 21.
Yeah, just a little bit better than Mr. Beak.
Like a 31. Yeah,
that's right.
That's
crazy. But you saw Mr. Beak had a plus 14 to hit, so it's not impossible.
That's so true.
That is the weird thing to get used to in Pathfinder. Is in 5th edition, like things are bounded within a sort of general area to where, like, if your AC is over 20, no matter what level you are, that's really good. But in Pathfinder, I'm sure things get up to like really high AC because if you get plus 1 AC every level, at level 10, you guys are going to have 10 more AC.
Yeah.
Oh shit, that's true.
Right?
So like an ancient dragon would be like a plus 25 to hit or something.
Probably.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that's let's see.
That means we should go to that dragon's lair right away.
Oh, that's true. We do have that choice.
All right. An ancient black dragon with its claws has a plus 33 to hit.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Maybe when we get to level 20, we can do it.
Well, at level 20, our AC would be what, like 30 if we get plus 1 to our AC every level.
It's true.
That's so crazy.
Let me roll an attack for this. With an 18, it gets a 51 to hit.
Oh my! We're dead. We're triple dead.
That's a crit. So you take 104 points of piercing damage.
It kills you all the way to the dying fork.
Actually, some of it's piercing, some of it's acid, and some of it's persistent. So, wow. Gosh. So yeah, numbers get out of hand in this game. So that is one thing that definitely, I'm glad we're playing in a digital format and it handles all those high numbers for us because.
Counting all that.
Yeah, how long would it take you to roll that damage at the table? 3d10 plus 14, and then times 2. Well, I guess it's not that many dice.
You're saying I can pick any archetype?
Yes. So just double check. Some of the archetypes, the dedication feats are not level 2; they're like level 6 or 8. Yeah, so you can't. You as long as the dedication feat is level 2, then you can take the dedication feat and you get it for free. It's on top of all your other choices. It's a thing. We're staying away from multi-class dedication feats. We're just doing the archetype ones because I've heard a lot of people suggest that this is a fun way to kind of like build more fun character choices that doesn't really overpower you. It might take your power level up a little bit, but it's not like crazy. It's just gives you some more flavor to your character. So I'm interested to see what you guys do with that.
I picked the Marshal.
Mm-hmm. I remember we talked about that one a while ago, but I don't remember exactly what it was. Marshal.
Very closely tied to like a paladin. But it makes me an expert on intimidation.
That's right. Yep. I wanted to take linguist.
Yeah.
Ooh, linguist. That fits. That fits a bard. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you combine your social skills and combat training. Mukta is a ratfolk, not a beastkin.
Yep.
Mukta gets that confusion quite a bit, but I am not aware of that. I'm so
so Marshall, you became trained in, so you're already trained in intimidation, so you become expert. So if you see, now you're an expert in intimidation, which means you do qualify for that level 2 intimidation feat if you wanted to go back and change it.
Where the hell does this go on? Where does the archetype go on our sheet?
So it doesn't. So like Richard had it right earlier. You don't actually add the archetype to your sheet. You just add the archetype dedication feat. So I think you were saying, Richard, like if you open it, it shows the feat underneath it or something.
Yeah.
You open the archetype, it'll show all the feats, and then you just drag the dedication feat over.
Yeah, and you can see why you're at. There's different level feats inside there.
Right. So I
have the multilingual feat twice.
bunch of languages with linguists.
So
Steve, I can't find. I mean, I found Marshall and then I dragged it on my character sheet, but it's not
right. So
reflecting on my character.
so what you need to do is find. You found the Marshall dedication feat under feats. That's what you got to add to your. So find the Marshall
under
dedication.
archetypes. And
Open
I
up
found it
Marshall.
under archetypes.
Yeah, press it to open it up
Oh,
to get the description, and then drag the dedication feat over into your.
Oh,
into
I
your
see.
character
I
sheet.
see. Okay. Got
Where?
it.
Oh, okay. Wait, maybe in the wrong thing. So, are the ancestries in their own folder, or sorry, the archetypes?
Oh, I see it. It's
The archetypes
under.
have their own compendium, and if you just open up the archetype from that compendium, you can drag over the feats.
There it is. It's under the journal entry, so it's further down the list. That's why I didn't see it.
Yeah, it's not towards the bottom.
Perfect.
Oh, I'm an expert in intimidation now.
Yeah, so that's a way you can see all of the, that's a way to view all the feats that you could do. I'm sure if you do the same thing under class, right, you probably see all the class feats organized that way. I know I was telling you earlier that it's probably not easy to do in Foundry, but it looks like there is a way.
Have to go through the journal entries for them.
Yeah. If you do on your character sheet, where your class actually is, on the first page, there's that little book icon. You could open the class thing, and then I think it shows you all of the feats and stuff too.
Character development.
Yeah. So yeah, Marshall looks pretty cool. Yeah, you have an aura like a paladin, right?
Yeah.
So
That
that's
gives
another
a
thing.
+1 against fear effects.
I need to add. There is a thing that has active auras, and then I need to put that active effect on your aura so it can automatically give it to all of the characters. So let me add that as a note. Something I need to do.
Yeah, and I believe it's an automatic thing. Once we get into combat, right?
Yeah, you're just surrounded by a Marshall's aura. The aura has emotion, mental, and visual traits, and grants you and allies a +1 status bonus to saving throws against fear.
Hey!
So add Hal's Virtuoso dynamic effect. Add Nulara's aura dynamic effect. Perfect. Yeah, these Foundry sheets are really nice looking, don't you think? The chat was kind of saying how nice they look. It does look cool, and it's fairly well organized. It takes a little bit of growing pains to figure out how to find the things to drag and drop, but then once you get the hang of it, it kind of logically makes sense of how they group everything into a compendium, and then you drag and drop the things.
Pretty nice not have it it's all in Foundry, so
right,
which I like.
Yeah, and then you can still pop it out into another window with Roll20 and Beyond 20.
Not sponsored, but could be.
Yeah, not sponsored, but could be. And yeah, don't forget to for Clovis that you still get to add a third spell slot, a first level, and then you can prepare another spell into it. And like before, you can prepare because we're doing a long rest and going back the next day. Or actually, that's a good point. Are we going back to the ruins the next day? Or we're gonna go talk to Rin and then go back to the ruins? Is that what is your guys' plan?
I believe it was to clean ourselves up first, right? Make ourselves look presentable before heading over there.
Right. Yeah. So we'll do the Rin thing at the beginning of the next session, and then segue back into going back to the ruins. If you guys want to spend a little bit of time role playing in town, we can do that, or we can get back to dungeon crawling. Just depends on what you guys want to do. We can do
talking to Rin first.
Yeah, I think we could do the Rin sort of conversation, and then probably fast forward back to the ruins, or we can do the Rin conversation and spend half. And when I say half, it usually turns into the whole session meeting all the townsfolk, right?
Shopping trip.
Shopping trip.
Yeah, the martial aura is a status bonus, just like Inspire Courage is a status bonus. So that fear effect doesn't stack, but the other stuff on Inspire Courage stacks. Okay. And the Inspire Courage isn't always up, right? It's only up if Hal performs.
Yeah.
Whereas your aura is just always up. So they kind of cover a little bit over each other, but not fully. Well, I'm sure Hal will also be learning some new compositions soon.
And a dagger.
All right,
This is
I think
so
that's going to do it.
cool. I'm excited.
Yeah, so that's going to do it for tonight's stream. I had a lot of fun leveling up, and we got to fight Mr. Beak. He was a challenge. I liked how you guys Mission Impossible stole it. Like the sneaky people are stealing stealing the spyglass in the background, and potentially could have gotten away with it without any sort of distraction, right? Except for it turned into like sacrifice the familiar, and that was
I feel so
that was
bad
funny.
about that.
But Mushi survived. Mushi's fine.
Yeah, I got lucky.
Poor
So-
Monkey.
Because if it activated when someone came in, would it have activated with just the mage hand grabbing the?
Mm,
I guess we
mhm.
won't know.
Yeah, I
Oh, well,
mean,
this way was fun.
I think like same as I said with you, right? Like if you descend into the room without a distraction, then he's gonna see you, right? Doing an invisible hand, I think because it's invisible, and you know the thing's floating, I would have allowed you guys to make a sort of stealth check to pull it off. If there was like a distraction that would have helped, that would have made it go off without a hitch like it did. I would have allowed like a sort of stealth roll with the plan you guys come up with, because I thought it was pretty ingenious. It's also cool seeing Mage Hand used in this system versus 5e.
Yeah.
So I liked it. I liked that you had a goal, which was get the spyglass, and you guys came together and did it using your unique set of skills. That's what I like to see.
We're a
plan
very
didn't-
strategic group.
The plan didn't go according to how our characters wanted, but how the players and the game went. It went perfectly.
Yes.
Sure. When does it ever, though, right?
Right.
Yeah.
That's very true.
So
And no one died. Just unconscious.
just unconscious.
See, I was just mostly dead. Mostly dead means slightly alive.
Half dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, good night, everyone. Follow me on Twitter at Steve the DM, or follow me here on Twitch at DM Steve, and YouTube. This is usually up the next day on YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, follow us on Twitch. If you're watching us on Twitch, follow us on YouTube. And everyone in chat, Biologist, Alexia, Del Storman, that guy,
wow.
M&S Skate, Heisenberg, everyone that interacted with us tonight in chat. You know, we appreciate you guys being here with us. It was awesome. We'll see you next time when maybe we get a chance to delve a little deeper into the dungeon now that you guys have a bit more levels under your belt. Now you're ready to take on the Swamp Dragon.
We're sturdier
Oh, yeah. Mooked is heading straight for there, sneaking in.
now.
Yeah.
Why'd you get cleaned up then?
We know it's a dungeon crawl, right? So you know that you got to eventually go down lower, but there's more secrets that you haven't uncovered on the top story too. Yeah, you guys like Hal was like, no, Mukta, you can't go open that intriguing stair, like what do you call it, door, and steered him away from these like doors, and like you can tell just on the way the layout of the building was, it was like a closet, right? And it's like no, Mukta, no closets for you. Mukta can't resist a door.
Uh-huh.
So I'm excited to see what you guys choose to do. Like if you go down, you know where the Swamp Dragon is. You guys found a secret passage that leads down, and there's more unexplored stuff on that little island. So I'm curious to see where you guys go, because that's fun for me. So
I want to go off the island, Steve.
yeah, let's just roll with it. Let's just make up our own content. So
Mhm.
it's been fun. We're out. See you guys next
Good night.
Wednesday, 7:00 here on Abomination Vault's Ruins of Gauntlight. All right,
Night,
take care.
everybody.
Bye, guys.
Good
Yeah, good night.
night.